appreciate it, God taking care of us.
How's the process been? I mean, you were really complimentary of Kellen Moore's process last year. Coming in, how's it been getting to the second year of it?
I mean, just expecting everybody to be a pro. We got a lot of pro guys on this team. I always tell people there's a difference between being an athlete and a professional athlete. You got to, take care of yourself. And when a guy like Kellen give you a day off, you got to use it the right way. Take care of your body, ice, cold tub. He's a football guy. He played in this league. He knows what it takes to, day in, day out. So I appreciate a guy like that. And I'm sure a lot of other guys appreciate him too. So, just got to make sure we take care of him and get some wins this year and, do what we got to do this year for sure. Because I think we got the right team to do it. Just got to take it one game at a time.
Chase Young has been very complimentary of the defensive tackle room as a whole. What do you think about you guys on the interior?
Man, Chase had a great season last year. A guy we're expecting to blow it up again this year, and we're going to help him any way we can, getting some early down pass rush, stopping this run. Takes everybody. I know everybody when the runs get busted, everybody looks like the D-line, but it takes all 11. Everybody got a job to do, and if one person don't do their job, we all can look bad. So, I appreciate Chase being complimentary for us. We got to do our job too, and that starts with stopping the run and, early down pass rush, play action pass, and then the guys on third down go and get them and, get after them and get off the field.
What do you see from Vernon Braun, and what gives you guys confidence that he's the guy to replace Brzee?
Yeah. I think we all got to step up. I don't look at it as he's the guy. Everybody's the guy because D-line is a position where you really don't, you do have starters, but you really don't because everybody's going to play if you at the game. So we count, and it's ever who's the hot hand. Some guys have their games, it's maybe a heavy run game, maybe my game, maybe a heavy, I really never thought it was a heavy pass game, but maybe Sean McVay liked to pass the ball a lot, so maybe a heavy pass game, but everybody's got to step up, me, Burns, Shepard, C. Miller, depending a lot on him, second round pick, Kristen, everybody. When your number called, you have to step up, maybe on practice squad, that we can make it elevated. This is a league where it goes like this. You guys know, it goes like this. The ebbs and flows goes like this each and every week. It's hot and cold. Adversity's going to hit. So, when your number's called, you have to step up because we dependent on you. That's why we brought you here.
What does Christian bring to the room?
Kristen Miller, Kristen Boyd. I'm confused. Yeah. Okay, C. Miller. Yeah. C. Miller. Athletic guy. Played in a tough. I'm always rooting for my SEC guy. SEC guy. Played in a tough conference, but just coming athletic. For him, for rookies, it's just really understanding the playbook early. You're gonna, like we know he's a big, strong guy, but right now it's just the fundamentals of getting in the playbook, understanding, the calls, daily calls, what he wants to do, the way he wants to do it. And I think once you do that, it's gonna be fast for him right now because he's a rookie. I'm excited to see him in his first joint practice against Jackson because it's gonna be fast. It's gonna feel like flying bullets. So he just gotta just settle down. Just settle down. It's just football. It's just football. Read your keys. When you see a pass key, get ready to pass rush. When you think it's a run, double team, get ready to anchor. He just got to play football, man. A lot of guys make a lot of it, but, he just got to learn his plays, and then he can play fast, for sure. And that's what everybody.
Much faster have you been able to kind of get into everything, being second year with some of the guys? And
Me personally, myself, I feel good, down 10 to 12 pounds from last year. Feel really good. Second year in Staley defense, ebbs and flows of it last year. But second year, man, I feel comfortable. I feel great. I know what he wants. I kind of like last year I did kind of like the same and kind of played in New England, Bill Belichick, similar, Vic Fangio. But second year in it, man, it's comfortable. Confident. So me personally, myself, I feel good being down 10 to 12 pounds and, just ready to have a great season, man. Just doing whatever this team asks me to do. I can, especially in the early downs, I can do it all, nickel, base, penny, whatever we do. I'm just ready to have a big season and, it's going to start fast for us.
Did you feel like what was the reason for losing the weight?
I just feel better. Me just personally feel better, especially being an older guy, year 10. You don't want to be carrying all that weight around. A lot of guys do it, but I don't want to. When I'm done, I don't want to be having to lose a lot of weight. I'm going to drop weight, but I just feel better. Just feel cleaner for myself. So you see a lot of guys. I don't knock them. A lot of guys still do it, but that's tough. Especially playing a lot of snaps a game. I expect us to have a big year. If we handle our part. Everybody stays healthy. You got a freak accident like Brian Brzee first day. That was, I was in it. That was like a freak accident. Nobody really, it hardly wasn't even no contact. Just really was a pass rush move and he felt his knee buckled. But expecting a big year. So I want to feel great about myself and I want to feel great about dominating this season for sure.
Was there anything scheme related that either allowed you to do it or motivated you to do it?
Well, I mean, I'm heavy in the base package, heavy in the pennies package, some nickel also too, nickel package, early down nickel. So I mean, it's just really, me just want to feel better about myself and just, moving around and, converting pass rush, early down pass rush, just feeling better. And like I said, it's going to take all of us this year. Everybody, had a good assignment to be back to come back to be in shape. I think we did good. The D-line as a whole did good on the conditioning test coming back. We all looked good. We all felt good. And it's time to rock and roll, man. First day of pass tomorrow. I know a lot of you guys make a lot of pass coming on tomorrow, but at the end of the day, it's just football. It's just football. We practice like this more during the season than pass. So I mean, it's really good for us to get the fundamentals of playing in helmets, striking blocks, getting off a box like this because we only practice and pass one time a week. So I mean, and Sunday, that's it. So I mean, that's really not a lot of times.
We know it's been a little while now since the Brazil injury, but how have you guys been able to rally around one another since then? And has it, knowing that you have so much depth on the interior of the defensive line, give you a little bit of solace?
Like I said, everybody got to step up. Everybody. I just broke down the guys before I came in here. Told them the same thing. Everybody do more. Me, Shep, Vern. I mean, he got hurt last year. He played one game, I think. C. Miller when he coming. I mean, when he's ready. Everybody do more. Everybody and just trust yourself. It's just football. Don't make too much of it. Yes, it's gonna be some adversity, but just trust yourself and you'll be okay.
Have you noticed a difference in the offensive line with David?
David, I played against David when in New England. So I mean, we had some pretty good battles when I like the game when we beat him 13-6. I think I forgot the score. What was the snow game in Buffalo? I played against David, so I mean, me and him have a pretty good relationship. But yeah, he's a veteran guy, man. Veteran guy, big body guy, real big body guy inside. Massive guy, harder to get around. But I mean, yeah, he's going to bring veteran experience to that O-line. I mean, he's going to bring with a guy like Eric, who's played in the league at a high level. A guy like Caesar on the other side, and you got Calvin. I mean, he had an awesome season last year. Then you got I don't know. I always forget 75. He's a dog. I know that. He's a really good player. But I mean, that's a really good line. I mean, so the key thing is, like you guys say, just being healthy. I mean, injuries happen. The Brazil is a freak accident, but the key thing is just being healthy. But doing everything when a guy like Kellen give you a day off, just take care of your body. I mean, you have to do your part too, And sometimes you just can't control some injuries. It's just freak accident,
You mentioned how you feel like this is going to be a big time year, and you feel that sentiment and the excitement around it. What's the biggest difference maybe you notice in the energy of knowing that you guys have a chance to do something in this division and beyond?
Guys are comfortable. Guys are consistent. Man. You look at last year, and it pissed me off a lot last year when we let Tampa slip away with that one here. We thought we was a better team. Really, for sure on defense, we was the better team. They tried 4 times on the goal line, didn't get in, 0. Atlanta, we had our chances against them. Bijan Robinson, he's a hell of a running back. I think probably the best running back in the league. He's really good. When you think you got that guy, you really don't. So, I mean, we let Atlanta slip twice. Carolina, the one in the division, we beat them twice. We just feel like it's our year, man. We don't beat ourselves, and I'm sure the offense feel the same way. Chuck feel the same way coming in the second year. I know a lot of people depending on him, second year elite. Just take care of the ball. I mean, he's comfortable, he's confident, he's an athletic quarterback. Just take care of the football. Put us in great position, and we're gonna do the rest. Special teams, play great special teams. Don't put us in bad positions. Don't block punt, stuff like that. Because a block punt, I think the ratio to lose the game is like real high. Just put us in great position and then let the defense do the rest. I feel good about our guys who we got. We drafted Vern for a reason last year. Now it's time for the step up. We dropped. Shep had a good year for us last year, so it's time for him to continue to do that. Me, you got everybody. Everybody, when it's your time, when it's your call, you got to step up and play. So we feel pretty good about it. We like our chances in this division for sure.
Davon, Ryan's not going to be around to jump over the line anymore. You want those kicks like they'd be yours up.
Oh no. They can have it, man. I always was told, man, you gotta know yourself. And I can definitely get some penetration push in there, but you gotta know yourself. I'm good on that. I lost 10, 12 pounds, but I'm still not jumping the block kicks. You gotta know yourself, man. I'm pretty honest about knowing myself, and I think if a lot of people do that in today's world, we'll be okay.
You got a 6'7" guy in the building.
Oh yeah, man. Hopefully he can get healthy and help us. I joked around with special teams coach about that, Phil. I joked around with him about that. We got a guy. He's 6'7". Then we got the guy Tyreek from Vegas. He's a big guy, 6'5". Grando's always block kicks. It's crazy because Chase is like 6'6". I don't even think he plays field goal block. We need to get Chase on field goal block. We need to get Chase. We know he can rush the pass, but we need to get him on field goal block. He's 6'6". We need to get him out there for sure.
Is somebody who was
Yeah.
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 See somebody like Caden Ellis.
Yeah.
7th rounder getting
Yeah.
contact. Like,
Yeah. Baller. I mean, I had a chance to play with two good guys here. This year with Caden, last year with Double D, Demaria. But I mean, it's just grit. Day 3 guy. A lot of guys, I mean, when you get picked day 3, it's like, okay, might not make it, but I mean, it's just really everybody has the same opportunity. And I'm sure Caden, what year is Caden? I'm year 10. Caden is what year? 8, 9? It's really just the grit for him. I mean, just saying that he's gonna. I mean, he's been a hell of a linebacker in this league. I remember him. I played with his brother in New England, 53 Ellis. I'm really bad with names. I'm sorry, guys. Kristen Ellis. I play with New England. We bring guys in every day, so I don't know who is who. But when Bill was there, we bring guys in every day, man. I'm like, hey, sir, what's your name? Like, we bring guys in every day. So it's crazy. I'm serious. It's crazy. I'm sure Sean Payton was here the same thing. I mean, he had a great career. I mean, and I'm excited to play with him. Very vocal, very good communicator. Excellent pass rush, too, on the blitz, too. He got a really good pass rush on the blitz. I saw him today working backs with Chase Young and them. So excited for him, excited to keep him clean. When the plays come to me, I'll make them. And then when I got to take up, too, and hopefully, he's gonna nail them. He's going to make them. So excited for me and him to have a big year for sure.
Davon, you said a lot about, you cheer for your SEC guys. Your position coach is a former LSU person as well.
Yep.
How has it been working along with Bo Davis this last year, and what does he bring out of you?
Man, you guys hear Bo screaming at practice. Bo's gonna be Bo. I mean, I tell guys, just take what you need, and all the rest is just tone it out. Because Bo gonna say a lot of stuff that some stuff you should hear, and some stuff you don't want to hear. So I mean, man, Bo, I've been knowing Bo since playing at LSU. Bo was at Alabama, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, all those guys. But I've been a fan of Bo. Been knowing him. His D-line play has been excellent, especially against the run. So I mean, it's been great, man. But like I said, you gotta listen to some of it and tone the rest out. But a lot of the guys get kind of tight when some of the rookies get tight when Bo's screaming. I'm like, man, he's gonna be Bo. It is what it is. Just take what you need and just tone the rest out. But man, I'm excited to spend year 2 with him for sure.
Anthony Jennings is someone that
My guy. That's my guy. It's my guy. It's my guy.
can bring to a defense.
Yeah, you're going to see him set the edge, man. You're going to see him when you see guys like Chase need a break, or Grando, or Eden Cam. Hey, 54, I'm telling you, he's a like Staley say, he's a real G. He's a real one. I think my time in New England was probably the best edge setter I saw playing in the game. Set an edge, and when I got 54 outside of me, I know the edge is set. I ain't got to worry about nothing. I know the edge is set. Same with the other guys, but I just spend more time with Jennings and watch them at Alabama. I know the edge is set. I don't have to worry about a run getting outside. All the trick plays Miami did against us last year, I know when 54 is outside, I know that the ball's coming back inside to the big guy. So I'm excited to play with him, man, for another year. I mean, we had some great defenses in New England with him. I mean, he wasn't really playing as much because we had guys like Kyle Van Noy, Jamie Collins, but I mean, I know having him, man, I can go to sleep at night knowing that, hey, the edge is going to be set at 54 is outside for sure. So
Quality. What is it that he does quality-wise?
Strong. He's like a 3-tech playing edge. Strong, sneaky. I mean, he wouldn't be mad at me for saying, but sneaky good pass rusher too. Don't let I mean, he made his hay out playing a run, setting the edge and making but sneaky good pass rusher too on early downs for sure. Sneaky, really good at running games with the guys, the inside guys. So I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys to see him come down and do it. I mean, Staley, we talked about it when they was talking about like trying to get him. He asked me about him, and then, man, I was like, I vouch for him. Like, he's a G. Like, if we can get him, I mean, we already got other great guys too, but if we can get him, we're just going to add value to our building. So, I mean, he's a really good tone setter, quiet guy, but really, man, he going to jack something up with his hands for sure. I love playing with that guy for sure. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, right.
Let's travel out. Yeah. All right. Okay, so roster-wise, everything was pretty much good today. Obviously, you guys saw pretty much everyone practice that wasn't on a list. The 2 excused absences were Caesar and Jalen Polk for personal things. Other than that, we're good to go. And bummer on the weather, obviously, with not being able to be outside for this, Sunday with fans and all that good stuff. But we'll be good to go.
We
Any
couldn't see
update
up
on
the sideline.
Brzee and if he has to have surgery or
Yeah, he's gonna have surgery. Yep.
this week?
Not this week, but somewhat relatively short.
We couldn't see up the sideline. Was that deep throw to Chris? Was he out of bounds when he caught it? Or was he...
Have not watched it. I saw someone doing incomplete, so we'll have to check it out.
We need your role.
Yeah.
You gotta be official.
We gotta get some more cameras in there then.
What have you made of just the way your first team offense has gone so far? Has there been a lack of a rhythm, in your opinion?
Yeah, it's training camp. There's good days. There's days you want to improve. That's part of this installation process. Obviously, you're always striving to get better each and every day.
What's the game-winning excitement around the building about Tyler?
About just the offense?
Tyler.
About Tyler? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, Tyler had a good finish last year. We're in the middle of this kind of journey for the next month. It's really grinding on ways to get better and improve, and that's the focus of this thing. And so we're going to have to test ourselves, test our boundaries, get better each and every day, and then we'll be ready to go once we get to the regular season. But, a lot of our guys are working their tails off, just like Tyler, and he's doing a good job.
Is the plan still to maybe rotate Rattler and Wilson at some point just to see, or is that?
I mean, inevitably, eventually, we'll probably do something. We just like to rotate these guys and give them different exposures. So, all 3 of those guys, they're playing good football, and Hunter got a little bit of reps at the end. Now we've kind of, started expanding the length of practice. So that was good for him as well.
What is a healthy Julian Blackman add and maybe open up for the defense when he's out there?
Julian's a really good football player. We were fired up to get him last year. Played great week 1. Kind of a goofy, unfortunate deal to get injured during that game, and so he was missed. When you have him and Justin on the back end, those are 2 really experienced players. They've seen a lot of football, and so their communication's at a really high level, and he's been doing really well.
How's our Fant for the game so far, and what are you seeing out of him early in training camp?
Noah's doing well. That tight end group will continue to rotate those guys, but Noah's a steady player. He's played some pretty consistent football through this early process, and a big thing for all these interior guys in some capacity is just the pads component. That'll come alive tomorrow. So O-line, D-line, tight ends, everyone's going to be a part of that.
Godchaux, when he was in here, was talking about his excitement for this year and for his room. With young guys like Broughton and Miller, how important is his ability to lead for those guys and showing them the way?
No question. I think he's a really good football player. First and foremost, he's had a lot of experience in this league, a lot of success in this league. Those young guys can learn from him, his routine to be playing, at a really good level as you get older. Shows the credit and the work that he puts into it each and every offseason, and so he's going to be an important part of this.
This is really random, but it's for a story I'm doing. Do you ever come across
Can't wait.
across fan breakdowns of film, and what do you kind of make of just analysts who maybe aren't around the game or don't have professional
Breakdown
like film and,
of in season and football, and
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. It shows people care about this thing and people are into it, and people are trying to educate themselves, educate other people. I think there's a lot of good in that.
Do you believe in the idea that you can learn, get a real depth of knowledge of the game without being in, this type of a setting, or in not this type of setting, but your type of
There's
setting?
probably always context to everything that you can always fine tune it as you go, but people have passion for this game that want to educate others and also want to continue to evolve from their own standpoint. I think that's good.
Did it ever bother you, you see something on that's not right, or thinking anything
I don't know. Nothing jumps off the point. I think there's always context to everything. Sometimes we all inevitably miss some context. That just happens in every walk of life.
Speaking of context, yesterday, or not yesterday, sorry, before the day off, they were announcing the down distance and yard line to the fans in attendance during the. What brought that about?
We were just practicing some very specific third down situations that everyone on the field should be aware of. And so we're just practicing some maybe not traditional third downs that we just want to announce so everyone's on the same page, everyone understands that this is the circumstance we're working.
great. So there was value for that was also built for the players on the field as opposed to context-driven.
Yeah, it's really just for the initiatives of the players, obviously, and if I get a little bit of context, we'll just understand what we're working. But the players are doing.
Critical situations that they need to know.
Kellen, where are you all at in the installation phase?
Right about halfway. We'll basically have 10 install practices, and then we basically have 1 day prior to Jacksonville. So that was the way this thing was scheduled.
You mentioned pads going tomorrow. Does it change for you all? You excited about seeing real football?
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it's finally as close as we're going to get before a game to real football, and so it's going to be important. And there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment. You always got to remind ourselves. These guys last played early January, for a lot of our guys in pads, and so this is the first time it's getting back on. The pad level, the finish, the techniques, you just got to get back into that. And so the next few days I think are going to be a critical aspect. We'll have 1 day of pads. We'll have a day where we're working, but we're not practicing. And then after that, we got a number of practices in a row. That's an important phase leading up to that Jacksonville game.
What element to this offensive line have you seen David Edwards bring, especially talking about him multiple times, but just how has he changed it early on so far, just his presence?
Yeah, I think his experience, communication, his steadiness. I think him and KB working together for this entire offseason on that left side, I think that's huge. That's critical. Again, he's a veteran guy who's seen a lot of football, and he gets to lean into that.
Thanks, Kellen.
All right, thanks, guys. Yep.
How do you think your camp has gone so far?
It's been good, man. It's always fun those first few days getting going. guys are flying around. It's been fun. A couple things to clean up as usual that first week or so in camp, but I think all the guys look great right now. It's been fun.
Could you take us through the throw to Lance at the back of the end zone there? Seemed like that one fired you up.
Yeah, it was a good play call. I was excited for Bryce because want to get his confidence going. I think he's a good young player. He made 2 good back-to-back catches right there, and corner bit a little bit. Just got to throw it firm to Bryce. He made a great catch, and it's always fun to celebrate in the end zone.
A route like that, like you need really good timing with somebody. Like, how do you build that with a rookie who's just coming in and get that together?
Yeah, I mean, specifically on that play, it's happens very quickly, and that's kind of like just an alert for us. So for him to be able to weave through all that coverage, it might look like nothing's there at first, but for him to just feel that zone in the back end zone was big time, and just got to hit him in stride, and he made a good play.
Your mindset, your preparation, none of that stuff changes for this year. Like, you do things the same way. You do you, right?
That's right. You got to continue to just improve. No matter what the situation is, continue to improve. Do whatever you can to help this team and stay ready at all times, and just try to, whatever group you're with, just try to move the ball and get the energy going and be clean.
Especially with all the weapons they brought in on offense, like, is it really noticeable to you as a quarterback?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think you guys can all tell out there. I mean, it looks good. Like, I mean, I feel like on first team, second team, even some of the third team guys, like it's a deep roster, on the offensive side of the ball. I think you got a lot of, obviously, skill at the wide opposition, and now the tight end room is deep. Running back room is really good, and the O-line looks great. So the horses are in the stable for sure, and I think once we all learn our assignment, keep building, keep growing, it's going to look even better and better.
Can you tell that the receivers you're throwing to, that it's a faster group? Does it like feel faster from your end?
You definitely know what guys are a little twitchier. You got we call it KYP, kind of know your personnel. Judging off a guy's speed, but all these guys can run. I think that's something that stands out. All these guys are quick, are fast out of their breaks, have good feel on the field, and our job is just to facilitate and get it to them in stride.
How different are their speeds? I mean, talking about Bryce, he's like 6'3", Jordan 6 feet, Barryon's about 5'10" or so.
Yeah.
How different do their speeds impact the way that you read the defense and get them involved?
They're all a part of a certain play based off, their strengths, I guess you can say, right? Obviously, Barryon's super, quick, smaller guy, more of a slot guy, so he's a little twitched up. You got to, kind of put it on him. Obviously, Jordan and Bryce and all these guys. Bryce is, good top end speed, kind of, just a young guy that can his top end speed on deep routes is really nice. And, but yeah, you just got to know your personnel, just kind of judge it off that and try to give them a good ball.
What does Zach add to the room?
Yeah, we like Zach, man. I like Zach, respect him. Obviously, he's been through it before, so I think that's kind of cool to add him to the room and kind of hear his insight on what it was like going through his situations and multiple stops, seeing what that was like. Obviously, he's played with, some big-time guys before, too, so just hearing stories about that. And I think it just adds more experience in the room, and he's a good guy, too. We all like to compete, have fun, and he's a great addition.
What have teammates have noted Tyler's leadership? Have you noticed any, just like being your quarterback, any notable differences in how in Tyler's game?
Yeah, I think obviously, as you play, you get a little more comfortable in the pocket. Obviously, the system more. I think him coming in last year as a first-year player, learning the system, getting it down. I feel like both of us, have it down to a T now. Being 2 years into it, feels a lot smoother for us coming into this camp rather than last camp. Last camp I feel like we were just working on snap count and we're false starts and pre-snap procedure issues. So it's a lot cleaner in this year around. So I would say just growing in the offense, and then obviously, confidence-wise, I think as you play, you get a little more confidence.
As your role changed last year, y'all were always very supportive of each other. Why was that important specifically for you, and how have you seen your relationship evolve over this last year?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the QB room. It's always going to be, you got to be there for each other. I think, that's big. When whoever's playing, you got to help them to the, as much as you can, because when you're out there, it's different than watching from the side. But I think we all do a good job of building together, competing versus each other. He throws a good ball, I want to match it. I throw a good ball, he wants to match it. Maybe, we'll talk a little smack back and forth in Indy. You got to get the juices going, and I think we all have fun doing that, with Scotty and Nuss and those guys, and it's fun just competing with them.
A couple of guys, Kellen, Chris, going back to last year as well, kind of elevate, when talking about you, elevating you up in terms of like, hey, this is a starting quarterback in the NFL. Just what does that mean to you to have that trust and relationship still around the team?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. You want, we went to battle with those guys. I went to battle with those guys, and, we always got each other's backs. I think it'd be the same thing, vice versa. So, obviously respect Chris a ton for saying that, because he's one of the best players in the league and has seen how it's supposed to look. And obviously big shout out to Chris as well. Congrats to him. Really deserving, worked his butt off, and obviously went through a lot to get to this point. So happy for him. But to answer your question, yeah, it means a lot. And just want to keep building, keep getting closer with the guys and keep growing.
Do you think there was maybe going to be an opportunity to like land one of those 32 jobs elsewhere or anything? Is that something that you wanted at all? Or?
Hey, look, I'm just focused on my job right now here. Obviously, this is a great situation here. We got a great young team, a great young quarterback room. We're all still growing, all still in the same area of our career. Whatever I can do to help this team elevate, that's my job right now.
He's a really good hat guy.
These were specially delivered to us, quarterbacks only. So we were excited when we got these in our locker the other day. Yeah, appreciate it.
And what just your thoughts on maybe they get to play with, but Drew Brees going to the Hall of Fame as a quarterback?
Obviously, one of the greatest of all time. Ton of respect for Drew. Every time we cross paths, it's great to just catch up with him and just dap him up, say what's up, hear what he's got to talk about. But I mean, we all knew that was coming. He's one of the GOATs, and super cool that he gets to go into the first ballot Hall of Fame.
Similarly too, Taysom had his statement, thanking the city of New Orleans and everything. Just what is it that he meant to y'all, throughout your time?
Yeah, Taysom was awesome. I mean, true vet, a guy that has literally done it all at every position. So for him, last year I think he really was in the quarterback room more maybe than the tight end and running back room. So getting to spend a little more time with him, seeing how he is and his process, I thought that was really cool. And but for him to be able to balance all those things, and he did so much in New Orleans. Obviously, wish Taysom the best, and one of the New Orleans GOATs for sure. Thank you, guys. Yep.
Now you're in, training camp's going, like
Yeah.
what's it been for you?
It's been great. Yeah, it's been great. He's been great. It's been a great start to camp, so been really enjoying it.
You say Heat's been great?
Yeah.
That's a first.
Yeah. We came back about 2 weeks early. Talking with Ted, talking with Sean, just, hey, get acclimated a little bit. So once you're in it, you're like in it. And so it's been a good acclimation. It's been good.
So were you out there like, with the Heat working out before practice started weeks ago and stuff like that?
Exactly right. Yep. Training like when practice would start, doing your runs outside, et cetera. So just trying to get acclimated.
At this point, what would you say is like one thing that is different about training camp, whether it's, because of Kellen or because of New Orleans or because of the Saints? Like, as somebody new to this who's been around, like, what is the defining New Orleans thing that is different about camp for you?
Man. In a fun way, those like coolers, those giant freezers we got, those are pretty awesome. But we do, the staff does just a great job of being cognizant of the heat and what it does to performance and stuff. And so allowing us to have a little bit of time in there just to kind of reset your body and your nervous system, cool off a little bit, I think it really served us well. Just speaking for myself, you go in there and there's just little moments with the guys, 2-3 minutes where you're cooling off, but it's another opportunity just to unplug for a second before you go back out there. So it's almost like a little escape in some way to have another opportunity just to connect with people.
You've been with a lot of really good teams in your career, but what have you seen around here that makes you optimistic about this team and this season?
Well, and I've shared this with, I think you guys when I first signed, is there's a lot of people here that I've connected with along my journey in the NFL. And so, for example, Ted Rath, our head strength coach, his process, the way he runs the weight room, the off season, feels exactly like I'm accustomed to along my, time in the NFL. But, when you first start training camp, you're still trying to get acclimated into, running plays, hitting blocks a certain way, getting your feet under you, your hips under you, moving the right way, et cetera. And so you're not in pads, you're in helmets, and all those things. But are there clips? Are there runs? Are you hitting blocks? Are you moving the way you want to move and protecting the right way? And so there are certainly clips and reps that we've had leading into, today where you can reference and say, hey guys, this is exactly how we want to do it. And so a lot of good things that we've done so far, and there's a lot of stuff that we, got to clean up and be better at, but there's a lot of things that we can point to right now and say, hey guys, this is what we're hunting up.
It's not about the running game here, I understand that you can't dive too much into the scheme, but just like your general impressions of how they want to attack it and personnel you have.
It's been great. A lot of things that I've run in the past have been accustomed to doing. And so what's great is that you can activate different schemes at any time that you hit the down lineman a certain way that's different than what they're used to. You're IDing certain plays, maybe different than you know, what the defense is. You're running, you know, a play out of this formation and then running that same play out of a different one, right? So, you know, the mix of formations, motions, shifts, presenting to the defense, you know, a scheme or a formation that ends up being different. And then ultimately you're hitting blocks, you know, differently, right? On a zone scheme, on a gap scheme, on power, whatever it is. You're not hitting the defensive linemen, the linebackers consistently the same way, so it just keeps them on their toes a little bit.
I know you weren't here last year, but players have kind of said, and coaches too, but it took some time to kind of discover what like the bread and butter was. Do you feel like, you know, coming into it new that you can tell like, all right, these guys have a clear idea of, you know, what that bread and butter is?
I still think we're building that, and that's it's been really fun. You know, the cool thing is that we have a variety of things that we can activate at any time. And now it's just, hey, how many reps can we get under our belt with Trav, with AK, with all the backs, right? To find out how comfortable they are with each scheme, what we're presenting to them in terms of the blocks, how it all fits together. So a lot of encouraging things, I feel like, in this first week of training camp that makes me feel really good.
What's been a good fit for you from what you guys have been installing so far?
In terms of the run schemes? Yeah, I mean, I think that there's been some great zone schemes that we've been activating. There's great gap stuff. It's all the same stuff that I've kind of been accustomed to, but it's been really cool to have the nuance and the detail and, hey guys, this is how we're hitting it. Here's the intent of the play. Tying in the running backs and the tight ends and the receivers. Like I really believe our coaches have done a great job of incorporating the entire unit, 11 players working as one, to accomplish a great play. And the best part is we're still installing. And so once that full package is in, and you can activate a gap scheme, a zone scheme, a keeper, a play action, out of all these different formations, I just feel like that's going to serve you well as an offense.
How's it going up against Davon Godchaux's teammate now?
It's been great, you know, and I love, you know, even Shep, you know, Vern, you know, those guys in the interior are savvy, good players. And so when you have great veterans on both sides of the ball, I feel like you can bounce stuff off of them. You know, hey, what do you think of how I hit this block or this set in the pass? And there's no guard between you because you're teammates. So working with DG on different things, like we talk about how I hit, you know, a zone combo or you know, a post set and pass pro, and he tells me what he's thinking and I'm telling him what I'm thinking. So it's been great, and that's cool because, you know, we're all in this together. I really feel that and believe that, and so it's been nothing but awesome.
What's been your impression of Kellen Banks, and just even beyond like what he is from a talent standpoint, and just kind of his approach to, you know, getting better in year two?
You know, KB is motivated to be a great player. He cares so much about being a good football player. He's so smart and intelligent and cerebral. Yeah, I told KB, like, we're going to get to a point where, you know, we only have to say the number of the guy we're going to. We instinctually know, hey, it's a backside B block, or hey, we're going to double to this guy, because, you know, it's hard to walk up to the line of scrimmage and say, hey, B to 41, that 3 tech's going to tighten down and try to time it up. And so, you know, that's what's been great about working with KB is he's so smart, instinctual, knows exactly how to hit blocks. And then there's different nuances like that he can teach me and I can teach him that, hey, this is how I've done it with this player. What do you think? And he's like, yeah, I love that. So it's been awesome working with him. He's going to be an awesome player.
Part of that desire to be great involves being open to critique and criticism, right? And not, you know, kind of constantly wanting to learn. Is that kind of part of his approach too?
No doubt, yeah. But I also want to give him the ability to tell me, hey, what do you think about doing it this way too? Because I think sometimes when you're a young player and you're working next to a vet that's done it, you know, for a long time. I've been really lucky to play next to some great tackles and centers, but they were a lot older than me. I want to give him the space to say, hey, I don't really like doing it that way, or what do you think about doing it this way? Because you don't want to just like appease your veteran. You know, like I want to give him the ability to say, hey, I want to hit it like this because I feel more comfortable or strong, and then we're gonna do it that way. Like I want to help him feel comfortable, and he's doing the same for me.
What differences do you notice between Travis and Alvin as runners, and how can those differences kind of complement the offense? You know, you hear of running back tandems. How do you think they play off each other well?
It's a great question. I think that the beauty of Travis is his ability to start and stop and kind of have this patience behind the line of scrimmage as well as at the line of scrimmage, and then make a decision and go, is really special and unique. What's really special and unique about like AK is I feel like that guy can hit a home run at any second. His twitchiness, athleticism, and burst is really unique. So but that's all of our backs, right? You've got to find a certain balance between, hey, this guy does this well, this guy does that well, and then ultimately letting the guy like cut it loose and play free and have fun, and trying to marry up like, all right, he's our outside zone runner or mid zone runner or gap, et cetera. So, but what's been great is those guys are great teammates, great learners, willingness to understand the big picture. It's been awesome, and I feel like that for the entire offense. It's really been a good start.
Hey, Dave, there have been some comparisons made with style of play between Tyler Shuck and Josh Allen. Do you see any similar traits between the two as far as just their style of play?
Yeah, it's hard for me to compare. Like I'm not going to put that on Tyler. What I will say is that, Tyler, for a second-year player, has a very unique ability to beat you with his mind, his feet, and his arm. And so there are so many moments, I feel like, and even in the OTAs and the start of training camp where he activates a certain protection or, kills a play versus a certain look. And you think to yourself, man, for a second-year player to have that sort of ownership and understanding of the offense and the big picture is really unique. And then I think you see what he can do with his legs and his arm. Obviously the comparison, you understand it, but it's not something that you're thinking of or putting on him. So I just think he's got a great, unique ability to do all those things and beat you with multiple ways.
Part of that too, the fact that Josh's development was so unique to where he started from an accuracy standpoint, made a huge jump. Does that kind of put him maybe in a one-on-one category that makes it kind of harder to compare?
I cannot, I was a triple option quarterback in high school, and I can't fathom the mental gymnastics that they've got to go through play in and play out. For me to say oh, it was the accuracy or I have no idea. That would be so wrong of me to be so yeah.
How do we go from triple option quarterback to championship left guard?
I don't know. But I there was a running joke with some of my coaches in high school, the Lichtenbergs, they played college football, and I was being recruited as a quarterback initially, and he's like, dude, you're just wasting time. He's like, you're gonna play tackle in college, let's stop beating around the bush here. So that's exactly what happened.
Did you go through a massive growth, just the size of tackle versus quarterback too?
It's funny. Once I got to Wisconsin, and I went to Wisconsin as a tight end, and I was 240, and I could barely bench press 240. Once I got into a college strength program, I just got stronger and bigger, and then I got to 270, and they were kind of might be time. So that's what happened.
You were teammates with Will Platt in Buffalo.
Yep.
Right? What's it been like just having him as a coach, and just as a player, just knowing that there's somebody who's coaching you has kind of been there, done that, like that?
It's been awesome. Yeah. Will's been a great friend of mine for, since our time in Buffalo. But what's been really cool is his ability to connect as a coach and as a player to guys, and tell you the truth. He knows what it should look like, feel like. He's been in positions where he's had different coaches. So he's trying to find the best way possible to get the job done. But he'll tell you straight up, hey, what do you think about this? Doing it this way? Or, there's so much in line play and in football that you can clean up. It's never perfect. And so having him as a coach and a resource has been nothing but awesome. Not just for me, but for the young players, the old players. His humility has been just amazing to be around. And he's been such an asset to the room, not only as a coach schematically, film review, but also just as a person. Hey, guys, I've been here. I've done it like this. Helping young players, myself. It's been awesome. Yeah, thank you guys.
I say the game started slowing down last season, towards the end, though, when I got real comfortable just being in the system and being under great vets, great coaching and everything. So I think last season was when I really started slowing down for me.
And where are you now versus that? Do you feel like it's even more manageable now?
Yeah, as days go on, though, I keep stacking days. I feel like it's slowing down even more. But now it's just about getting better each time and be ready for when the season comes.
And what was kind of your focus in the off season to get ready for training camp in your second year?
just don't make the same mistake twice. Like if I made a mistake my rookie year, don't make that same mistake this year, and just keep getting better.
When Mickey was talking to us last week, he mentioned two players specifically when talking about their improvements. It was you and Kool-Aid. Like, how important is that maybe to you, knowing just how important your role is to this team this year?
That's super important because I mean, like everybody got a job on this team, and if I'm doing my job, that just put us one step closer to our goal. Like so, if everybody just do their job, then we're just gonna keep getting better and push towards our goal. So as long as I'm doing my job, I can be happy. And now I got to push somebody else to do their job, and I think it work out for us.
Can you walk us through the interception you had just a couple days ago at the goal line?
It was just a great. Coach put us in a great call. Me and Jay Reed. It was a man-to-man call. Me and Jay Reed worked it out. Like I take the first outside route. He take the first inside route, and I guess receiver got caught up or something, and it was a zero pressure. So ball had to come out hot. So I was just patient. And, I seen the ball thrown and just wanted to catch the ball.
Is there anything you're recognizing pre-snap that helps you anticipate that type of throw in terms of like it's like offense was maybe changing?
For sure, it all comes down to down the distance, formation, what's the situational, and then just like execute my job.
This is also your second year in Coach Staley's system. How much more comfortable are you with him and with that scheme, and how does it allow you to thrive?
I'm getting, like I said, I'm getting more comfortable, but there's a lot more comfortability out there for me though. But just being my second year, I feel like I have open conversation with him where he understands like my play style. I understand what kind of defense he want to run and where I can do this and do that at, and we just have open conversations like that.
How much better is the receiver room this season?
I feel like we got a good pieces, a lot of speed in that room, so that challenged us in practice. So I feel like when we go against speedy receivers, I think we'll be more comfortable with those. But I feel like the receiver room got better.
Talking about having great veterans to lean on, how much is having Justin Reed and Julian Blackman back there helping you prepare for a second-year jump?
I think that's a blessing by God having them guys in the same room as me, and I can look at them and knowing they're on the back end of me, like they helping me throughout the play. Like, okay, you can be right here, Quincy, or I'm be right here for you. So it helped me play faster for sure.
You've been around Tyler for a few years now. And what about his jump has sort of struck you the most? Is there something about his development as a quarterback that surprises you, or did you see this coming? But from having seen him for a few years to where he is now, what's the biggest thing that stands out for you?
The biggest thing stands out, like what I'm seeing from first day, like even in college, like first day I ever met him, like I think his leadership role, like I think he got the ability to just come in any type of room and just demand like this is what it's gonna be and what it's not gonna be. So I think that's like the biggest thing I ever seen from him.
You know, just think of this a lot. You know, how much of emphasis has been on kind of building that communication from the edges to the interior to the back end?
For sure it's different. Like he was at that safety position, so now he got to learn new new terminology for the star position, and now me and him actually working hand in hand together with me playing to the field. So I think just each day, just him just coming to talk to me, anything about it, like we just getting better.
Tell us about the duo of you and Kool-Aid being the outside corners in this defense.
Talk about it, the duel.
The duo of you and Kool-Aid being the outside corners in this defense.
I just think we just come to practice every day, get each other better. And if one of us go down, the next man up. So I think it's just a group. It's just not just one and two. I think it's just a whole group all together, though.
Last season, Alante was like, these two have potential to be the best duo. And is that something you guys embrace? Do you think that could be a possibility after this coming season? How do you feel about kind of that way?
I embrace everything, but I just really think just coming in every day, just getting each other better. Even like from Ike to MJ, just everybody just coming in, just getting better. That's our main focus right now.
How would you describe your relationship with Kool-Aid, though? Just from, I mean, he's talked about wanting to step into that leadership role and everything. Like, what's y'all's relationship like?
I think we got a more closer relationship than I would say with anybody, just because we talk outside of football a lot. Kind of like almost similar people, personalities and everything. So I think me and him just got a little more closer connection.
Kool-Aid and Justin Reed were talking about too is kind of the physicality that this scheme allows for the corners. How do you like that? And what's kind of just your vantage point on the violence that's provided?
I enjoy it though because it shows people that the corners can be violent, and throughout the league, I feel like corners shy away from being violent nowadays. But in this defense, it lets you show that you can be that, and you just gotta want to do it.
How much do you look forward to putting hands on the mark?
A lot. I mean, that's when real football can be played for real. Appreciate y'all.
it's always fun chirping with the defense a little bit, but yeah, I think you guys just got a little extra hearing because we were in the indoor, but it was fun.
What do you like about that? I mean, that back and forth, and especially in an environment like this where teammates.
Yeah, no, honestly, it just like pushes each other to be better every day, which is cool. And I think we got a lot of talent on offense and a lot of talent on defense, so it's just like pushing each other to be better, attack our deficiencies, and try and be a great team. So.
Seems like the tight end group this year is just a lot of really talented players who can do a lot of different things. Like, how much of a competition is there in that room throughout this process?
Yeah, I think everybody's always competing every day. I think we have a really good cohesion in our room, though. It's like everybody's rooting for each other and trying to get better each and every day. And the chips will fall where they may when we're guys like in and out and playing and things like that of that nature. But we're all rooting for each other. We all want each other to get better, and I'm all trying to help each other also at the same time. So it's a great cohesion in the room. Chase is doing a great job. Josh Hill is like a dark horse for us in the tight end room. He might not get a love a bunch of the time, but former player here, and he helps us a lot also. So it's a great room so far, and I'm super happy to be a part of it.
Have you ever tight end room similar to this as far as the amount of talent?
I mean, yeah, that's a tough question because I feel like tight ends rooms are always, usually very talented, and usually everybody gets along really well. It's a good group of guys most of the time. So, but here is definitely like there's a lot of talent in this room. When I was in Seattle, there was a good amount of talent in that room also. But yeah, so same in Cincinnati, like there was a good amount of talent, but I've really enjoyed being here so far. So.
You never spoke about how the way that Tyler's able to beat people with his mind as a second-year quarterback has impressed him a lot. What is it about Tyler as a second-year QB that's impressed you the most?
I think it's just his leadership qualities, like being in the huddle with him between each period. If he doesn't think that, relaying from the coaches or him himself, if he doesn't feel like a period has gone that well, just encouraging the guys to like pick it up, get going, and all the things of that nature. He's done a really good job of leading in that standpoint, and also just like kind of like from a second-year guy of kind of doing the San Diego stuff and just kind of bringing guys together and getting guys together in that nature has been really cool to see from such a young guy in the NFL. He's just kind of taking it by the reins and really taking it and run with it. So I think everybody's kind of building around him in that standpoint. So it's been really cool.
I don't know if you have like an opinion on this, but Justin Reed was talking about how Chuck is like just a catchable ball and it's receiver friendly.
Mm-hmm.
It's got zip, but it's not too much.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that's just like stood out about it, just like from catching passes and throws that like is notable to you?
Yeah, I think that, he definitely has a catchable ball, but it's like there's quarterbacks that don't have as much as they're just like it's a rocket every time. He has great touch. He has great feel for putting it in spots and zones where you can catch it and get upfield. So I've been really impressed with all of that, and I think that's why he's in the positions he's in. He has a lot of talent in that standpoint, and so it's been good work so far. We got a lot of training camp left to continue to improve on all those things though. So.
And like I'm sure you've been in offenses that just like have a lot of skill guys
Mm-hmm.
who are going to see the field. Like, is there ever, I don't know, it's a challenge or whatever when you have like a lot of mouths to feed,
Mm-hmm.
like kind of balancing egos and stuff like that, knowing that the ball's going to be spread out?
For sure, yeah. I think that's a big part in the NFL just in general. It's like you're going to have a lot of talent around you at all times if you have a good team. And you just have to be prepared to, like, every play, whatever's asked of you, and just doing that to the best of your ability. You're not always going to have the ball in your hand. I've kind of learned that over the course of my career. And, like, there's guys like Chris Olave, right? It's like he's going to have the ball a lot. He's a really good player, and as he should. But it's like we're going to surround him with a bunch of talent and a bunch of guys that can do similar things, and everybody's going to get their opportunity at some point. So you just got to be ready for it.
Is that something that you really experienced last year in Cincinnati too, with the
Mm-hmm.
Chase?
Yeah, definitely. I think that was a little bit of a different experience. I haven't been in an offense before that like there was as many like targets as that per game. I've been with DK, I've been with Cortland, Tyler Lockett, but Jamar got a lot of targets a game, as he should have. He's a great player, like transcending wide receiver. But I think Chris Olave, I think he's just as much up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a great player. So we'll see how it all shakes out. I think all of us are just, to your point, I think we know that we have a lot of talent. We know we have a lot of mouths to feed, but we're just going to do our job every play. And if we're doing that, we're going to be in a good spot at the end of the year.
In addition to kind of the pass catching prowess that you bring, you have really strong run blocking experience as well. What do you think this system maybe puts you in position to do in that area of the game?
Yeah, I think it's just like really leaning into the fact of like really like leaning into my strengths and then attacking any deficiencies I may have in my game. And I think this coaching staff really prides themselves on putting each player in the best positions to like where they'll be successful. So I'm just really trying to lean into that, and each and every day, obviously, the pass game is important here, but as is the run game. So I've just been trying to lean into both sides of that and try and be the most like all-around player I can be, try and help the offense, and be a good like complement off of Javon in the tight end room also. So I think it's been going well so far, and I think that we have the good thing is like we have a lot of training camp left to like continue to build that and continue to build that camaraderie and that cohesiveness and like really build an identity for sure. For sure, I think Maliki's done a great job. He's a big dude. He's a strong guy, and he can catch the ball really well too. I think like, I mean, when you go through the whole tight end room, it's like Maliki, you got Trey, Zaire, like Oscar, all these guys. It's like they have a bunch of talent, and everybody knows it. And it's just really cool to be a part of that and see everybody do certain things really well and flourish from there. So.
With all that talent in that room, just curious your perspective on over the past few years, we've seen sort of the multi-tight end focus and become kind of an emphasis or a trend around the league. Just kind of what's your perspective on the additional opportunities?
I'm all for it. Yeah. any 12 and 13 personnel, I love it. I love it. You don't have to tempt me with that. I love that. So as many tight ends as we can get on the field, I'm all for it. So.
And what does that allow an offense to have that to rely upon?
Yeah, I think it's honestly great. I think it's tough for defenses in certain scenarios where it's like you have a lot of bigger guys on the field, so how are you going to match it? And then if those bigger guys can then also run routes and do really good things in the pass game, now we're really cooking with grease. So it's like it's one of those things. It's a give and take, but Kellen does a great job with all that stuff. It's my job to kind of like whenever I'm told to go in and do the best I can. But he does a great job with mixing up the personnels and all that stuff. But any 12 and 13 personnel, you can put a stamp on it that I love it. So.
What's the excitement around Tyler Shough joining the year two around the building?
Yeah, I think that's just like everybody kind of like seeing the talent that he had, seeing the last 5 games that he put together, and just like taking that and running with it and building off of it. And I think around the building in general, it's been the whole like we're building around him and moving forward and trying to build this thing the right way and be a great team. So he's done a great job taking it, like I said before, taking it by the reins and really just running with it and doing his thing. So we're all following behind him.
Have you been on a team that relies heavily on 12 personnel?
Yeah, I think most of the teams I've been on, like when I was in Seattle, we ran a lot of 12 and 13 personnel my first few years there. But last year in Cincinnati, we did a decent amount of 12 personnel also. So a lot of the teams I've been on have been a good amount of 12 and 13. But like you were saying before, it's becoming even more of a trend in the league where it's like 12 and 13 personnel is like a big thing. So I love it.
Just adding on to that, like you mentioned the multiplicity of each guy in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Kellen Moore teams have been up-tempo historically. Do you think that's maybe a separator of like if you catch a team in a look and you have guys who can run block, who can run routes, just be able to keep them in that look defensively and stay up-tempo and still be able to run multiple things off?
100%. Yeah, I think that if you can get into tempo in those like 12 and 13 personnel, that's where it gets real dangerous because it's like you got guys that know like the whole playbook conceptually and can do all these things. You can get into different run formations and mix it up in play action, all that stuff. It's like that's where things really start to open up. But that's also, not to take any away from 11 also. I know the receivers love being on the field. So, but yeah, I definitely think to your point, that is a huge thing. Catching a team in what nickel base personnel, whatever you're hunting up that game, and being able to do that is huge.
You're only like halfway through installing training.
Yeah.
But like, is anything just kind of caught your eye of how Kellen approaches the game from a mindset standpoint, just like anything that's kind of impressive?
I think the biggest thing is he's just like dialed, like every day, like he knows what he wants to attack, he knows what he wants to get done. It's very detailed of like, there's no questions like really when you're going into practice. You know what's expected of you. You know what we're trying to get, what we're trying to accomplish in that play, and I think that's been my biggest what's the word I'm looking for? Like biggest. I'm most pleased with that to see that is just like he's just so detailed and dialed. It's like it makes it easy for us to just go out there and like do what we're asked to do. So. Oh, for sure, yeah. I think it's very efficient throughout the day. I don't really have any complaints about any of that stuff. Like I'm the new guy anyway, so I'm just kind of following in line and doing my thing and trying to help any of the tight ends how I can. But I have no complaints when it comes to that stuff. I think it's a well-oiled machine. I think he's put a lot of thought into how he runs everything, and I've really enjoyed it. So.
We know you spoke about the 12 and 13 personnel, but obviously you work closely with the offensive line. Just what do you think about them and even guys like David Edwards and how they've been performing and doing so far in training camp?
It's been great so far, honestly. Funny story is that Dave was actually in my combine class, so we trained for combine together. We end up on the same team now, but it's pretty cool. It's like how great of a player that he's developed into, and then dealing with like Tally and KB on the outside with like a lot of the time with the tackles, working triples and all that stuff, like combos that we need to work with them. It's been awesome. The level of communication The level of like football IQ, all those things that those guys have has been really cool. And obviously you got Eric leading all those guys from the center position. So it's been awesome. I think they're gonna put on a great show and do their thing. So it's been good. Good. Thank you guys.
We up in this thing. They are show is brought to you by those guys. As you can see, the 2026-27 NFC South numbers right here showing the Buccaneers plus 200, plus 240, plus 310, and 330 for Carolina Panthers. The Saints in second. I'm telling you, they're gonna move up the charts. Y'all get involved. FanDuel Sportsbook. We up in this thing. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the live. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to spike upon the hype button as well, the sub button, Big Q in the building with the mighty Who Dat Nation as the press conference comes to a wrap. Shout out to you guys. T-Mama, shout out to the Queen. Appreciate her for being in the stream. Much love to Beverly, Steel Bill, Who Dat Nola, Kelvin Washington from Phoenix, Arizona. What's up, Kel? Adrian Bonds in this thing. Shout out to Tanner as well. Trey, much love, my boy. Son of God, big ups to you, fam. Appreciate you. Young City 9, Robert is in this thing as well. Much love to all the fam. I appreciate y'all for being in the stream on this one. What's up, brother Ross? Shout out to you, my guy. He up in this thing as well. So anyway, looking at what happened with the black and gold on day number 4, the rain kind of ran them in here into the indoors facility. As you can see the graphic here, kind of breaking it down and talking about what happened during it in day 4 quick notes here provided for you guys. So nonetheless, few things occurred, man, right? We seen the indoor work. The rain moved them in, so they practice indoor. The offensive gained some traction on that field. We also seen the red zone perfect as Tyler Shuck, Rattler, and even Zach Wilson went 12 for 12. Bryce Lance went back-to-back TDs, and Shuck hit 2 TDs as well. So on that fast field, the Saints were able to handle up and make some things happen there. And we talk about some of this stuff. Whereas the offense is gaining traction, and they are doing it in a different way and gaining and getting better. So, and we talked about this with Tyler Shuck, in getting more experience in that offense. And we know that when you're talking about a guy like Kellen Moore, who obviously, has given, the Shuckinator the keys to the bus, and he ain't playing around. Let's just be honest. The Shuckinator is not playing around. He's adapted this offense in a way, and he's taken possession of it, and I love it. I think it's a terrific thing. He gets rid of things he doesn't like, and the Saints are streamlining this thing. I mean, this is beautiful. I absolutely love it. All right, let's finish up on the quick bites right here. Outside of that, you've seen defensive plays. Jonas Sanker did some stuff, some goal line pass breakup work against Jordan Tyson. Julian Blackman collected the INT today. And then we had the Olave watch. 2 targets. Quincy Riley broke up an end zone touchdown pass. Slow start there for them. But nonetheless, we'll get it together. Like, there was a lot of good stuff going on in the red zone, which is a positive. We want to make that a better we want to make that better. We want to improve in the red zone. I call it the green zone because it represents money, baby. We scoring. It's not red zone. We changing the verbiage on the red zone, and we changing it to the green zone because green, it means good. Green is the color of nature. Green is the color of the currency you use to buy your damn groceries and to pay your mortgage. That's good, baby. So we kind of adopting that and changing it to the green zone because when we get there, we gonna score, baby. We gonna score. All right. So anyway, trenches and kickers. Vernon Brockton was taking reps with the first team, the ones. People ask me about Tanner Brown, who the UFL kicker. He got an opportunity to get in there. He went 5 for 5 today. Charlie Smith, who's 10 for 10 for camp, while Tanner Brown is 9 for 10 in camp. And you remember, he was a guy the Saints were very interested in insofar as what he brought from the UFL. He was kicking these 60-yard field goals. He was incredibly accurate. The Saints was watching it, and they jumped on and signed this player right away. So you got two, and not just to it was a multi-year deal. They're not paying a lot of money for him, obviously, like they're not paying a lot for Charlie. They're signing him to a multi-year deal. But the key to it is they put both of these guys in a competition to see who will be the future Saints kicker. Now, we do like Charlie Smith a lot. He was kicking real good last year. He replaced Blake Groupie, who's somewhere else. But nonetheless, it'll be good. It's always good to get a good competition in kicking right there. Tanner Brown and Charlie Smith probably going to be one of the hottest kicking competitions that we see. Also, some other notes to kind of talk about here is the indoor session outside. The heavy storms moved them indoors. It was closed to the supporters. And then, of course, the final day in helmets and light shells. They begin full pad work next week, August the 5th. The Saints get into it and bring in and start the work with the pads, and we get physical, baby. That we start to get real physical down in the Big Easy. So we'll see how all that goes moving forward. But nonetheless, man, it's a positive effect for the city, for the team, as you can see a good flow of success under the organization as we continue to move to improve this thing. All right, shout out to your tribe of Judah. What's up, fam? Much love, my fam. Appreciate you for being in the stream as well. Jane Doe, what's happening? Says, are we a national sleeper yet? Y'all getting me hype. Well, I just showed you the odds from FanDuel. They're showing you in the I remember watching these same odds, and they were a lot less than that. A lot of people didn't have the same, same inspiration, for lack of better words, the same motivation, the same positive energy for the black and gold. They were like saying, oh, yeah, it's just the Saints. We don't think they're going to do anything. And then you've seen a cascade effect occur where the media is turning to the NFC South and really deep dive in the team. They're really starting to pick up on the Tyler Shuck stuff because they know that when you see quarterbacks take possession, and it's not just, Tyler Shuck is typically, he's the, I ain't gonna say the prototypical guy, but he is the type of quarterback most of the NFL scouts salivate over. And what I mean by that is he has the height that you want him to have. He's a big guy, 6'5". He has the weight, about 220, somewhere along in there, good weight. He can really move. And that took me by storm because I seen him scramble in college. But when he was in the game and he outran, was that Pierce? Forgot the linebacker from the Atlanta Falcons. He outran the guy to the corner and got in the end zone. Y'all remember that? And I'm like, damn, he outran that guy. That guy was actually pretty fast. He beat him around. So, I mean, he got an incredibly first step. So he has mobility. He got a strong arm to deliver the ball down the field, and he can hit each area of the field, short, intermediate, or otherwise. So he has that, plus he has the mental makeup. As you can see, 26, 20, he's going to be what, 27? Let me pull up his card here. But I know he's a guy that a lot of people are really excited about. And they're looking at him and saying, damn, you think the man is going to be a 27-year-old quarterback. He spent 7 years in college. He got a child and everything. So he's not like a 21 or 22-year-old NFL rookie second-year quarterback. This guy is actually, hold on, let me make sure I get his call right, because he is, like I said about Tyler Shuck, the dude is just a different type of cat. You know, we'll see what they do with it. But yeah, he 26. Yeah, he turns 27 next month at the end of the month, 9/28. He turns 27 years of age. He got 3 years remaining on his contract. He'll turn 27 next month. So it's time to go. I mean, if you going whatever you're gonna do, it's not the same timeline where you're gonna be patiently waiting for the guy to whatever. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a certain amount of patience, but you help him when you give him everything that you possibly can afford. A stronger offensive line. You got a bevy of featured weapons all around the place. The Saints really remapped the wide receiver room. They add Travis A-Chain as the feature back, Elvin as the complimentary back. Jordan Tyson was picked up. He's healthy. He's good to go. They read up with the extension for Chris Olave. And all that did was created a runway for success for the Saints, because whether you like Chris Olave or not, you got to respect his resume. 3 of the 4 years, he had 1,000-yard seasons. Last year, he turned it up. The Saints say, hey, man, show me something. We're going to pay you. And Slick Mick and the GMs did it. So credit to Slick Mick and the GMs for making that work. That was very positive. So nonetheless, if you look at the Shuckinator, man, I'm telling you, the Saints looked at him and said, let's go. And he himself, and hold on, let me pull up his card so y'all can see his card. But he himself was a guy that is not taking this situation likely. And what I mean by that is here's his card right here. You got a 20, soon to be 27, next month, 27-year-old quarterback, 6'5", 225, somewhere along in there. And they said, Saints say, man, this guy has it up here. We got to give him a running attack. Let's give him all the time. And they really went all in, because this was basically an offensive draft, if you think about it. This was to help the Tyler Shuck draft. It really was. You give him a strong option in Jordan. Fam, listen. The Chris Olave and Jordan Tyson pairing could be special. Because remember, for a long time, the last time we had a pairing that you were really excited about was when Mike Thomas was healthy and he had Chris Olave, the Ohio State connection. I think that was in Chris's first year. But Mike Thomas couldn't stay healthy, so we didn't get the full bevy of what they could have been, right? But you got Chris Olave now and Jordan Tyson. They will work together. The temperament is there. You got Jordan Tyson with his abilities and what he can do. They added a good target in Devon Bailey. They got Juwan Johnson stepping up on. Hopefully he can continue his trend of doing better. Like, he looks excited. We see in the interview about how he feel about Tyler. And then you got other guys. Noah Fant, we just seen his interview. You seen Oscar Delp out there performing, right? And Kellen Moore has a plan. Like, some of these guys you're going to see, those multi-tight end packages that you heard Noah Fant and them talk about. The Saints are not just having all these tight ends sign Noah Fant and then draft Oscar Delp with the third round pick and still have Matavo there, a 6'7" tight end, red zone force who blocks as well to help carry the team to the next level. We doing some stuff. Add Big Dave Edwards inside at the left guard position, major whole field. And then you have a pissed off Cesar Ruiz who just had his child. Shout out to Cesar. He had the baby. Much love to that brother. Give him a clap up for that. So all the motivation. Let me tell you something. When you have a child, you are challenged to do better in your job. He got every piece of motivation that he can need to step it up, to do better, because eyes will be on him at that position like they were last year on the left guard position with Penning and these other people. The eyes will be on him because we know the bookends, Tali Fuaga and Kelvin Banks will bring it. So like I said, the Saints offensive line with Eric McCoy, this is a big part. Eric McCoy said that he's healthy. He told Teron Armstead he feels like he did prior to when the injuries started stacking up on him. which I can look back at the time prior to the game, the Philadelphia game, I think it was 2 years ago when he got hurt, and then you had a snowball effect. Now, it was prior to that, but he was talking about feels like he is 100% healthy, because last year and the year before, they were saying he was healthy, but I was like, I've never seen Eric McCoy get pushed down on the ground so much as what I was seeing. He must still be hurt some kind of way, because I seen him get jammed and pushed back. I was like, that guy never gets done. I was like, this guy got to still be hurt. But now he says he feels like he's 100%, which the Saints believe in him because they don't really have a veteran complement for him behind, in terms of the backup center position, which my greatest concern, if you ask me, Q, what your greatest concern is, it's the backup center position. No disrespect to Torrey Sally Simpkins. I think he's a good young player. I just want to have a veteran there because the center position is so important. Now, I know Will Sherman is supposed to compete with him at the backup center position, but I prefer to have another Luke Fortner type just in case, because of all of the, because if God forbid, I want to see him finish the season. That's Eric McCoy, that is, because he helps out so much. He knows the protections. He's looking out for everything. He's calling it out. And Tyler Shuck is learning that too. So they both need to know it just in case we lose McCoy like we did, and then you have a situation that occurred a couple of years ago where we had to reshuffle the line, and guys, it was just a horrible experience. But nonetheless, we'll see how they handle it there. But yes, indeed, the national media, they have to respect our minds, because you can't overlook what the Saints are in the NFC South, being that they knocked off the Carolina Panthers, which is the defending NFC South champions coming into it. Atlanta Falcons having QB issues from Penix. You don't know what he's going to do, and when he finally gets in there, he's going to be rusty as hell. You have Tua, who's banged up. I don't see how you did that, but the Falcon going Falcon. And then you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who got players wanting to be traded. There's still some toxicity there. The Baker Mayfield situation is still up in the air. So, and I said this prior to all of this occurring, that it feels like from an energy standpoint that the Saints and the Carolina Panthers will be two teams competing in the South. But nonetheless, we still got to knock these teams off, right? That's what we got to do. All right, shout out to you, fan. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's a good energy is what I'm saying. And even the reporters know, it, you can feel it around the team. When you see people move a certain kind of way, usually the success follows. It's a pattern and a rhythm to it. And you know what it looks like. You know what it feels like. That's what you're seeing. That's what you're feeling around the team. The Saints, this version of team, are looking for big things here, man. And I think they can accomplish it. All right. Jane Doe says, wasn't Spencer invited to San Diego? I don't remember. I think most of what they were putting together was for the wide receivers. I wouldn't be surprised if it. I don't have the answer to that. I don't know if he was Jane Doe. He was invited along? You asking about, was he invited along with the Tyler Shuck and Drew Brees, what they had going on? I wouldn't be surprised if he was invited to, because like they said, it's a competition thing. And Spencer and Zach Wilson are competing because Spencer Rattler got his own competition going on. And right now they're saying Zach Wilson actually looked pretty sharp. He looks pretty sharp. And the guy, like I said, we know that he struggled in New York Jet territory. Most people do. Just haven't won anything in years. But he moved on to different programs, and for whatever reason, Kellen Moore sees him and his potential. It was something made him, become one of the top quarterbacks of that time. But he's now here, and he looks sharp in camp, according to what I'm hearing from people. They're telling me Zach Wilson is ready to ball. Let's go. 9112 says it's a dirty bird world. I like the Falcons for the sweep this year. Shuck, decent at QB though. Y'all picked up decent pieces too from a football standpoint. I like y'all team. Well, shout out to Falcon man, right? Let's give me a round of applause to the Falcons. Because he ain't lying. He ain't lying. But the reality is, like I said, man, we got something for y'all, man. Like I said, the Falcons, first time they swept the Saints in some time. The last game of the season, the Saints was banged up, but we had that game. Both of those games, the Saints had it in command, and then we just didn't finish the game. We turned it over. But that's one of the things that I talked about. It's like, man, listen, we got to get that right. We got to get that together. We can't allow the Falcons to sweep us last year. I mean, because Tyler Shuck and Kellen Moore, as it stands right now, are 0-2 against the Falcons. That's the deep rival. You got to clean them up. Thank you, man. Appreciate the comment. And your team as well is interesting. Let's just say that. I mean, Kevin Stefanski was an interesting choice at the QB. I mean, at the head coach level. He looks revigorated there, but he's always had some type of issue with his QB. That's been the problem with Stefanski. Never could settle the QB position. So you got I ain't gonna say a similar position, but I think you should have did a little bit better looking at quarterbacks. I wouldn't have went for Tua, even though he came cheap. But there's a reason why some of this stuff is cheap. We'll see how it go, man. But shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you as well. Yeah, NFC South. So thank you, man. 9112. 9112 came in with some respect, man. Someone put some respect on that man's name, because we usually get people, and that comes with the Big Low energy, right? My dog Big Low is mad respectful, and I'm and I'm respectful of my boy too. So I ain't gonna go all the way out. The Falcons got the sweep on, man. They brung the brooms out for the Saints. We got to pay them back. Who That Dallas said this receivers room is special, along with the 2 tight end sets is lethal. Big Q, yes indeed. The Saints are looking good, man. From a paper standpoint, we get the unofficial depth chart on the screen here. But yeah, you can see for yourself here what the Saints have. They're going to feel a very interesting unit this year. And like I said, you look at it from a defensive standpoint, with Brian Bresee out, and that's another thing I don't want to gloss over, fam, is that Brian Bresee is scheduled for surgery. So just to let you guys know that he's scheduled for surgery, which means this season we know it's over with. He's dealt with this type of injury before. He'll be back next year. And it happened early prior to the season, which means you'll get him back. I ain't gonna say this year. I don't think they're gonna even try to bring him back for this year. It wouldn't make any sense. Give him the full time to be able to heal, because the Saints have a collection of veteran players as well as young players that need to make a mark. We talked about Vernon Brockton was working with the ones today. He was the 3rd round pick for the Saints last year. So he's healthy. Remember, he got hurt last year too. He's healthy and ready to kick some tail too. So it'll be interesting to see how that all works. But the 2 tight end situation, when you look at Juwan Johnson, Noah Fant, Oscar Delp, Matavo, looking good. Like I said, I think the Saints keep 6 wide receivers on the active. When the 53 comes down to it, I think they keep 6 wide receivers and 4 tight ends. That's what I'm thinking they're gonna do. Thank you, bro. Appreciate the comment. Bishop, one love. Shout out to you, Bishop. Much love. Appreciate you for being in the stream. Much love, fam. Yeah. What's up, Kai? Kai says Eric McCoy got to show and prove. Yeah, Eric McCoy. Man, listen, man. Eric McCoy missed a lot of games, like 20-something games over the last, 4 years. That's a lot of time missed. And the Saints have been really patient with Eric McCoy. Really patient with him. Really patient. Really, really patient with Eric McCoy, because usually by now you would have seen them draft a center or something to that degree, right? Not have an undrafted guy as the backup. That is, it's McCoy's job, obviously, but he's not played enough for. If I'm the general manager, I'm more than likely going to see about taking a center, but maybe that's next year. Mickey's philosophy is, well, always draft a year ahead of a need. God damn it, that's what you do. So my old saying is, I always draft a year ahead of the need. So is next year the year when you take a center, Slick Mick? More than likely it should. We know Eric McCoy, especially if he doesn't make it through this year, you need to really consider, going out and drafting a center, man, for Tyler Shuck. We love McCoy, but I can't get over the fact that he missed so much time. That has to change. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. All right, what's up, Kev? Shout out to my boy Kev in the building as well. Good to see you, my man. Appreciate you. Bishop says hit the like button. Shout out to you. Bishop Jack says this offense is going to cause some problems indeed. Man, you look at the chart right here, fam, like I'm showing you. You can see for yourself. Look at this, man. Look at this. Look at this this unofficial depth chart. Look at this, man. Look at that. That's crazy work. Tyler Shuck is here. You got Travis Etienne. The Saints plugged any major hole they had, offensively speaking. They needed to be more explosive. They got Travis Etienne Jr. as the featured back, but AK-41 as his complement. And they're going to work those two in harmony. You got Chris Olave healthy and under an extension. He's happy, so he's going to ball. They had Jordan Tyson. I don't know how many people don't know how good Jordan Tyson is, but Jordan Tyson is a very good wide receiver. In college, how he makes plays, speed-wise, physical-wise. Now, he needs to kind of sharpen his route running. Not to say it's bad, but once he starts really getting in and locking in, I'm just excited about that duo because Chris Olave is good. He's going to help Jordan Tyson, who's already a good wide receiver, play the NFL game. He just needs to stay healthy. That is going to be a supreme compliment for Tyler Shuck. For him to succeed, you got to give him the weapons. Guys that can get up the field, not only that, make the catch. But you got him, you got Devine Vele, had a bunch of bevy of really tough catches last year. He showed that he can play. I remember Sean Payton was talking a great deal about how good Devine Vele was for him in Denver. And you know, my dog KT wasn't exactly excited about Vele, but what Vele brings to the team is a 6'5" wide receiver with 40 speed, playing in the slot. He can put him outside too. You can move him around. It's duality with this guy. Now in Denver, you see he caught 41 passes on 55 targets, 3 touchdowns. I expect him he played the same amount of games in 13 games in Denver and 13 games for the Saints. Saints got him in a trade. Then Coach Payton was salivate, say, man, this dude here is something else. Saints got him in a trade. Big guy that we need that size. And you don't even have to be accurate. You just throw it in his vicinity, you're going to go up and get it. So having his size and his speed and operating in tandem with Chris Olave and Jordan Tyson, man, don't y'all understand how that's going to look? That's going to be ridiculous. He going to shoot right past his high, which is 41 catches. He going to definitely do that because a lot of the attention is going to be on Chris and Jordan Tyson. Jawan Johnson moving around in there. He's another of the security blankets for the Vele just has to stay healthy. He's going to ball. He's definitely going to eclipse 41 catches on the year. But like I said, man, it's a flow. You can feel the energy there. We just have to watch how the team and really, truthfully, and we're just looking at it on paper right now. And we are looking at monitoring the practice, how fast they pick this stuff up. The fact that they're doing the side stuff prior to the season starting, that helps with the identity issues right away. And what I mean by identity is the quarterback needs to know the wide receiver he's thrown to. If the guy wants it, here or there, low or high, that's what the off-season practices, the stuff where, Tyler Shuck was doing multiple amounts of this stuff with wide receivers, Jalen Polk, Chris Olave, and others, getting familiar with throwing them the ball. That helps you now in the training camp. That's what it serves, is to understand where these guys want, where they like to be on the field, all this stuff. All the intangible stuff that happens that build chemistry and synergy, a lot of that's been developed outside of training camp. Now it's being brought in. And that's how you know you're serious about something. All right. Big ups to y'all, man. Phil, what's up, brother? Say, yeah, we need to pay back. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We definitely the Falcons got to get that issue, bro. I'm still, I was happy. Listen, it was such a crazy season for us last year because it was such a roller coaster. You got to look at last season. Sometimes some of the stuff, we just wash it on out. We just push it. We don't wash it out. We forgot all about it. We don't wash the stuff all out. But remember the first 9 games, the Saints was 1-8. Y'all remember that? 1-8 through the first 9 games. It was horrible. It was horrible. You know, it just was craptastic. That's the only word I can define it. And then the next group of games, the Saints went 5-3, almost 6-2. And it was like, you know, light versus darkness, evil versus good. It was a drastic difference in how the team performed, and it was so polarizing how it happened that people, because it hit. Once the light went on, it just flipped over just like that. Bam, we got it. And they just, and of course it happened against lesser teams, but you be who you're supposed to be, right? If, you know, hopefully it had gotten going against stronger teams, but you know, whatever. We're going to see some good ones up this upcoming year, but I love the fact that, you know, they're aiming in the right direction. I like how Tyler Shuckers took possession of the Saints offense to the point where he gets certain plays that Kellen said, you like this one? No, I don't like this one. That kind of control. He got the keys to the bus. And when usually you do that, it's plays that the QB runs that he likes in plays that he don't like, that he's not comfortable, that don't get kicked in there. See, it's different when the coach is telling the player, hey, you're going to run this, versus the QB and coach working together saying, I don't like that play. Let's use this one. I think we can. That's a different effect. You know, so I love what it's heading. We'll see. Bishop adds, I'm interested to see how Vernon Brockton like. He may be that dog we need. Yeah, Vernon Brockton is very much an unknown. Now, if you watch college film on Vernon Brockton, he was I call it a bull in a china shop. You know, and they had other players from that Texas team that were drafted. And Vernon Brockton, a lot of people, including myself, I thought Vernon Brockton should have been, you know, we could have got him later on, maybe in the 4th round or something like that. But Coach Bo Davis, the defensive line coach that came from LSU, really liked Vernon Brockton. He was the one that championed for the Saints to select him with the 71st pick in the 3rd round. Now, he got hurt last year. He 100% healthy now, and he wants to show what he can do. Now, Brockton's a big boy. He's 6'5", 311 pounds. I think it's a lot more than this. But he's a guy he's a dancing bear type player. And what I mean is massive person that don't move plodding and slow. He got cat-like quickness. He's a big guy. He light on his feet, so to speak. He's light on his feet. So a lot of times you can stun him. Some people would think about putting him on the end, but with the Brian Bresee injury, that kicks Vernon Brockton inside, and even Christian Miller is now involved. He's healthy now. And Miller is the big 2nd round pick we picked up out of Georgia, who's 6'3", 330 pounds. You got some people in the interior right there that kind of can absorb the loss of Brian Bresee, so to speak, because you got veterans in Nate Shepard, and you heard what Davon Godchaux said. He talked about losing 10 to 11 pounds off of his frame, and he's a big guy. You know, he's probably one of the heaviest of the defenders he got. If he lost 10 pounds, he here at 330. So he 320 now? Yeah, man, I tell you what, I feel good. I lost 10 pounds. And the man is 6'3", 330 pounds. I guess that 10 pounds, boy, that's going to make a hell of a difference. I tell you what. But Davon Godchaux, man, we're going to need him. We're going to need him. We're going to need Shep. We're going to need Vernon Brockton. We're going to need Christian Miller. We're going to need John Ridgway. We're going to need all these guys. We're going to need all our young interior defensive linemen. Hopefully we'll see Xavier Harris down the line once he gets healthy. We're going to need all these guys to do some stuff, right? We're going to need them all. All right, GM Kev says number 89 convert to a tight end. You want to convert number 89 to a tight end. Let me pull up my roster here, man. Let's see which one you talking about here, Kev, on the tight end position. You said convert. It must be a wide receiver you're talking about. Brock Reichsteiner, the wrestler's son. 6'2", 225, convert him. He's an interesting player because you look at him, he looked like a running back. I mean, this kid right here, Brock Rothsteiner, he is a interesting player. I was looking at him, man, and he kind of built similarly, not exactly to Taysom, but he looks like a running back to me, right? But yeah, I don't know. I don't think if he wants to make the team, he probably ain't gonna make it at wide receiver. That is a tough position for any player, especially a guy that got, I think he was the last wide receiver the Saints signed to the team. So he was way at the back end. Might be something there, Kev. 6'2", 225. That's right around Taysom Hill size, matter of fact. You know, I mean, you watch him on tape, he's something else. But yeah, he buried on that wide receiver room. I don't think he makes it there. He might, if he switches position, which I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but I know he's a candidate for the practice squad. I know that for certain based on his talents alone. Dude has talent. All right, Trey Will. Shout out to Jeslo. What's up, Jeslo? Good to see you, fam. Jack Hunter said, just don't take a center with the first round pick, Slick Mick. I don't know, bro. Well, the last time we did it, we got Cesar Ruiz. We'll see, bro. We'll see how it go, man. What's up, Tyrell, man? What's happening, man? He said, although I don't know how many games Ruiz plays before he gets benched. But listen. I don't know, bro. I don't think he gets benched. I don't think Cesar Ruiz gets benched. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Right now, I think you gotta look at it, bro. I know Ruiz was stinging it up for the last several years or so. Like I said, I grade him out as when his first because I gave him grace the first 3 years because he was a center. Then he made the switch to guard. And I was like, okay, for a center to make the switch to guard, guard is an easier position than the center because the center position comes with all these responsibilities. And I'm like, okay, less responsibilities, he should handle up. He needed to get stronger. And I thought that would be a natural transition for Cesar Ruiz from center to guard. It didn't do that. He took years 2, 3, and he really was up and down, very inconsistent. And then in the final year of his rookie deal, remember the Saints they did like the evaluation thing. It came down to his 5th year for the Saints to decide on whether or not they were going to extend. So y'all remember that? They didn't extend him right away. It was like, we want to see what he can do. They wanted to see what Cesar Ruiz, and ultimately he played well enough in the contract year to earn an extension with the Saints. To me, that was his best year because he knew it was on the line. Then when the first year after the contract, second year, it was just like this, up and down. Then he started getting hurt, and then things started happening. Now, he been getting I've been calling that out, his playoff for years. But really, Mickey Loomis didn't start talking about it until last year because the pressure of the Who Dat Nation, the supporters, myself, and then the reporters were reporting on Cesar Ruiz that they couldn't keep it quiet anymore because sometimes these guys will take these players and they don't want to comment on how poorish they playing because sometimes that can be an indictment on you picking these type of people. But it became so obvious that it's like, hey, man, I expect, hold on now, Cesar, I expect more out of you. Then after that was said, then Cesar Ruiz got mad. Because prior to that, he didn't say one word about none of that. He didn't say nothing. It was only after Mickey said what he said. Then the interviews came with Teron Armstead. Then all this other stuff came out. But we've been saying that his play's been bad. Which was curious to me, by the way, watching the interview he did with Teron Armstead. Shout out to him. Watching him sit up there and I don't know if he was pretending or not, thinking that, hey man, they just hate, if they're hating or they're just saying this stuff because they forgot who I am. I'm still the man. I'm still what? Still what, bro? You would never been dominant. You've never been a dominant offensive lineman, not since you stepped in the NFL. I've always said that Cesar Ruiz should be our best lineman on this team right now. He should be better than Eric McCoy. I've often said that. He should be better than McCoy. With all of the reps and everything that he had access to over the years, he should be the best offensive lineman we have. But it hasn't been that. It's been up and down. His leverage is bad. His footwork is inconsistent. Sometimes he's leaning too forward. Sometimes his feet too spaced far. Guys swim move him. Guys push him down. He don't know who to block at times. When he double blocks a defensive lineman, he's supposed to slide off him, a shed, as they call him, off the defensive lineman to get to the next level to take on the linebacker because Kamara or whoever your running back is following him there. And that's why when people was talking that mad trash about Kamara's having that bad year, it's because stuff like that. They don't pay attention to it. The details. The running back if the lineman does his job, it makes the running back looks better because if he sheds that blocker, it's just the double blocking. He goes there and pops that guy, then takes off to the second level to get the linebacker. You don't want Kamara lining up and challenging that linebacker. You make sure Ruiz gets there, pushes that guy out of there. Kamara follows him through that hole into the third level of the defense where the safeties live. Maybe a juke move and he off to the running. One good block. That happened. That was inconsistent last year early and the previous years under Dennis Allen, those 4 years, that type of stuff was occurring. It's always a reason. You just got to look at the tape. But watching him on tape, people's like, yeah, this is it. But that guy was sitting up there saying, man, they forgot who I am. No. They didn't forget. Nobody forgot. We are looking at the tape, bro. You got tape. What tape are you looking at that's showing you somebody? I'm not being mean. I'm just saying when you study film, it's showing the man getting beat on film consistently. And this is my critique of him because I really think Cesar Ruiz, if he put his mind to it, and really focused in and been the first guy in training or get to the first guy in, to the training facility and the last guy to leave, I think this guy could be a very good offensive guard. That's what I believe. But instead of taking on this and responsibility and accountability for his actions, he plays, these people, they forgot who I am. No, they ain't forget. We ain't forgot. It was like, I was like, is he serious? Is this guy serious? He must have been. But I say all that to say, man, just had a baby. They just had a baby. The Saints drafted a guard at his position, right? Now, I don't think Jeremiah Wright out of Auburn in the 4th round challenges Cesar Ruiz this year. I think he's good. I don't think he challenges him this year. But next year, look out. Look out. Because the Saints are looking at that, and it's already in the tea leaves that Mickey Loomis said, and I quote, he's not verbatim, but he says, they asked Mickey that is he going to cross train Jeremiah Wright? What did Mickey tell the press? Oh no, we're not going to try. We're not going to cross train him. We're not going to do that. We're not going to cross train him. Just keep him there to learn the position. Now, what does that mean? That means that now he has an easier path for that job. Contract is up in 2 years anyway, so he's on the clock. And perhaps if he can he fend off Jeremiah Wright? Is it too late? Now it's not too late because if he dominates here now, he might not be here, but in the end, he'll find a job that will be willing to pay him if he can step up and step out. Me personally, I'm going to say it right now that I think Cesar Ruiz is going to be very solid for the Saints. You're going to see some of the better play from Cesar Ruiz that we've seen in the last 2 or 3 years, which is not saying much, but I still think that the man going to step up and have a good year because the spotlight's going to be on him. Remember that thing that happened with Penning, y'all, when everybody was looking at Penning? He was literally in a pressure cooker. and he stepped up and did a few things to keep people off him for the interim. Nonetheless, at the end of the day, man, that's just a part of the game. You got to step out. Jeslo says, Fadil is going to be good, fam. I've said this and I say this again. Remember last year, Fadil Diggs almost made the 53-man roster. Last year, he was barely beat out by Chris Rump II. Barely. Fadil Diggs is good. The Saints did a wonderful job in these 2 drafts. They really did. They getting work out of the 7-round guys. The Saints utilizing all of the picks. That's how you build a good young team, a sustainable team that you keep together. All right, shout out to you. Appreciate that, man. Tribe of Judah says, right, Q, I think the Saints are going to be really good this upcoming season. They're showing us a lot on paper. Yeah, T-Mama said definitely on paper. Paper. Bishop says the Lance turns into a deep threat too. Yeah. Bryce Lance is a part of this thing too, right? And that's what I was saying about what the Saints have, is that they have a treasure trove of different wide receivers in depth to help them. And I think that was done pretty meticulously by Kellen Moore, because he understands the importance of having a deep wide receiver room. Like we don't have if we have Chris Olave or Devon Vele, and they're our fastest players, and then something, God forbids, happen where they missed a few games, then we can't push the ball up the field because our top 2 people are sitting on the sideline with injuries. No, the hell with that. So what he did was, how about make the whole damn thing? Everybody can run. Everybody can run. That way we don't lose no speed. We don't lose no verticality. We don't lose any playmakers that can't catch the ball. That's the point. Loading that wide receiver room. Remember last year, he's overcompensating in the wide receiver room for what happened, because the Saints went all the way down to the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, 7th string wide receivers because injuries started tearing them up. So, you got to get deep with it. So he just learning from the process, say, man, we just had to build a deep wide receiver room so we do not lose any verticality or any skills catching the ball. We got a deep room. And I respect the heck out of that, baby. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right, shout out to you on that. And appreciate you, Jeslo, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Much love on that, man.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
And of course, from old Umar.
Donations. Gifts. More gifts.
All right, Jack says, Q, when do we need to pay Vele? Does it make sense to extend him now? I don't think so, bro. The Saints got like $12 million here, and I think Vele, is on the 2nd year of his rookie contract, I think. I have to look it up, but in terms of my recollection, I'm going off of what I remember looking at some time ago. So I guess I can do me some quick research to see what Vele is, but I want to say he's in the 3rd year of a 4-year agreement, because he was a 7th round draft pick. So he would be under that 4-year agreement. But let me see if I can pull him up here and see where he is. So just a second, let me look, see if I can find him here. But if just double checking to make sure I give you the right information, bro. Hold on here. If I'm not mistaken. I think I'm right, but double check here. All right, let me see. Yeah, that's right. Well, he got it's a 3-year deal, because he was undrafted. It was an undrafted free agent signing. Okay, that's what it is. In the first year, 25. So it was let me see, it's drafted in 2024, and he has 2 years remaining on his contract with the Saints, according to Over the Cap. This year, just over $1 million, and then next year, 2027, 1.1, close to $1.2 million on his base salary. So his base salary and overall, and his cap number is like 3.1 million. So you got one of the cheapest slot men with potential in the league. So he's on a phenomenal deal with the Saints. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what he do, because remember, there's 41 grabs that he did with Denver. We'll see. I think he eclipses that with the Saints this year. That's what I think. Thank you for the super chat, Jeslo, and shout out to you for the question. All right, I don't know what the over under is, Tyrell. I didn't ask the question about would he get benched, but what do y'all think? I don't think he gets benched, bro. But y'all answer the question. All right, Edward says, how does Polk look? Polk look right now, according to reports, he looks good. But the issue is quite a few of the Saints wide receivers are looking good right now. And he's not what's the term? He's not he's not standing out, so to speak. He's not standing out like if you know what I mean, because other players are also making plays. Like Ronnie Bell. Ronnie Bell is doing stuff, running people over. You see Bub Means was making plays. So, right now Jalen Polk is looking good. He's not outperforming anybody, right? Yeah. So we'll see. Cool Man believes that he could be he might be a serious threat. Yeah, I've said I think the Saints keep 6 wide receivers for the active 53. We'll see. Udig says, truth be told, Shuck hasn't been looking good in training camp. It is a ramp up. Like he did throw overthrew some people. You're right. The other day he had some overthrows and some misses here or there, but over time you've been seeing the connections connecting. The last camp day he was like today he was on it, but then again all the quarterbacks were like they were in tune, they were in rhythm. But then they had some days, like a couple of days ago, he did have a camp day where he was kind of overthrowing on some people in there. But I think ultimately you're starting to see it. You come on. Remember, it's just day 4. It's day 4. And we got a long time to go. So we'll see. We'll see, you dig? You see, it's day 4, bro. Who That Daddy says, Q, I live here in Frisco. Okay, cool. Have watched Jordan Tyson at Allen High School. That's right, became the player yesterday, and it's a pleasure to have him with my hometown team. Indeed, bro. We definitely appreciate him as well, and see what he can do. All right, Charlie Dog says, you did can just defense is stepping it up. I wouldn't. Yeah, but they said that though. They said that the defense has been playing really well. They mentioned Kool-Aid McKinstry getting there. They mentioned they talked about Quincy Riley sticking hands in there and making passes. Like the defense has really been playing well, especially in the secondary. That's why the reporters was talking about when Quincy Riley popped up on the presser today, the reporters was asking him about that, and he mentioned the fact that people were talking about him, the coaches and otherwise, was talking about how good Kool-Aid McKinstry and Quincy Riley have been looking. So the defense has been performing very well in playing against the offense. But like I said, this is just day number 4. You can take what you want out of that. You take what you want out of that. All right, KT, what's up? KT is in the building, man. All right, yeah. All right, Trop says, he said, I'm glad that we signed the running back, Travis, in the offseason this year, Big Q. He's from Louisiana. Yeah, I think Baton Rouge. So that's even better for our New Orleans. Yeah, indeed, bro. It's good to have him back, man. I'm happy to have him back. I remember LSU was trying to go after him and his brother to bring him over there. I think they both went to Clemson, if I'm not mistaken. But it's okay, man. They did well there. KT says, I'm still mad about drafting Ruiz when we could have had Jordan Love. Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's a Sean Payton decision. We always had shots at good quarterbacks. And coach, some kind of miraculous way, we didn't end up with them. That's why I was really impressed with Sean Payton, what he's doing with Denver, because he never did that here. He took a quarterback in Bo Nix and won with a rookie, basically a rookie quarterback, even though the guy played like 7-8 years in college. He maxed out his college and learned the game and really went to QB school in college. 7 to 8 years or something like that. He just used it all. And then when he got to the league, he was definitely ready. Think about that. Because Bo Nix was at Auburn. I remember he was at Auburn. Then he transferred and went over here to Oregon and all this kind of stuff. So he just basically went to football college. Usually a regular quarterback would do like 4 years and then they'll go to the pros. This dude did like 7 or 8, something like that, and came in really ready. That's almost double. So, and Coach Payton won with that guy. So that was really something that I never seen Coach Payton do. He would usually rely on veteran quarterbacks to direct his system. He didn't draft these guys and bring them in. He passed on a few of these guys. I know what he said about Mahomes and all that, but if you really wanted Mahomes, you'd have went up and got him if you believed in that. So, that's the stories. We always miraculously kind of had that. I was not happy about the Cesar Ruiz signing, too. I was pissed about it when they did it because I knew it would be trouble for Drew Brees because Drew couldn't move. Drew was, at that point, he was basically a stationary quarterback back there, and you bring in a rookie offensive lineman at the center position or the right guard position. If it breaks down, then Drew's in trouble, and that's exactly what happened. Vernon Brockton beat the hell out of Cesar Ruiz on the move, and then and splashed down on top of Drew Brees and broke little Drew from Purdue all the hell up. I was kind of pissed about that, but I called it prior to it happening because you don't do that to a veteran quarterback that can't move. You put an offensive lineman there. I just didn't like how that played. But in the end, it worked out. All right, KT says Q and the fam bigger wasted first round pick offensive lineman Pete or Ruiz. Ruiz wasn't a wasted. Ruiz wasn't a wasted pick, man. KT always finding some players to get at, man. Andrews Pete was a 3-time Pro Bowler, bro. How was that a wasted pick? When the Saints drafted Andrews Pete, hell, we had Teron Armstead at the left tackle and Ryan Ramczyk at the right tackle. He shifted and played guard, a position he never played in college. And he excelled and his Pro Bowls came as a guard at a position that he didn't play in college. And he's a wasted pick. Man, a 3-time Pro Bowl. Okay, KT. Rasoon says, yeah, y'all worried about that wrong thing. Ruiz is being scapegoated for other team player deficiencies. We should put the scope on Kellen's development of Shuck. Well, I mean, they connected, aren't they, Rasoon? They're connected, right, my brother? If you think about it. Right. If you don't have an offensive line, blocking for your quarterback, ain't no development of any positive nature is going to occur if the quarterback is on his backside. Or his stomach you running from people there in the plays. But I think they're connected. And I don't think Ruiz is being scapegoated because it's more than enough film to break down Ruiz for years. So it's not. I don't see him as a scapegoat, bro. I think the onus on him is definitely worth it. I think it's definitely worth it. The scrutiny is justified. Let me just put it like that. The scrutiny is justified in my estimation of what people are looking at with Cesar Ruiz. There's filming out there, and there's no scapegoat, bro. I don't see that at all. I don't know about Ruiz. For some reason, he gets beat by quick defensive tackles. I know it was just one play in practice, but Friday, Nate Shepard beat. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, Jeslo says, Leo says, Pete cannot stay healthy, but cannot deny winning. Yeah, well, Pete, like I said, man, Pete did miss some games, but he played what the man stepped up for us, bro. The man, he got 3. It's not like he Isaiah Foskey or Nick Seldaveri. How about that damn guy? At least the man played. Oh man, yeah. Where that at? Where is that? KT? Where's that at? Where's the talk about Seldaveri or people like that? Man was a 3-time Pro Bowler, but he the wasted pick. Not Nick Seldaveri, who's a 4th-round selection. Oh my goodness, y'all be just making me laugh on some of this stuff. He said Tyree Wilson is doing good in practice. 5th-year option. He played against Cowboys. Having good. Yeah, hey bro, I talked about this before, and I was asking people during the training camp preview before everything got going. I said, listen, fam. Tyree Wilson, it was a sneaky good move by Kellen Moore and Slick Mick and the GMs because if you look at his film, he's 6'5", he's about 265, 270. He's athletic. He has the height and the speed. I just think he needed a change of environment, plus working with Coach Staley. He has the motivation to get better, and he's in the final year of a first-round draft pick. He's a top 10 guy. I was like, the question I posed, I even said this on last night's stream, why can't we see a similar progression? Not maybe exactly, but maybe a similar trajectory in terms of progress with Tyree Wilson like we seen with Chase Young. You knew Chase Young had the talent, right? We knew he had the talent. The issue was him putting it all together. Well, what happened? He said that on previous interviews that Cam Jordan and Double D showed him how to take care of his body. Who's better to teach you about that with Double D and Cam? And you mean to tell me they're gonna do that? Well, Cam will do that for Tyree Wilson to help him get better. And I don't think his problem was injuries. It was just that defense. He just didn't look well in that defense. Change of environment helps. So why would I not think that? Watch out for him, bro. What's up, Quavetus? It says, I think with Vele, age won't get a don't because KT about to get on his stuff about Vele. Watch. I think with Vele, age, we won't get a big deal, right, from other teams. So we'll be out. He'll be okay. But if Lance and Brown perform well this year, when you might have to think about letting Vele walk in the future. In Bryce Lance is definitely an interesting prospect. He is a tall wide receiver at 6'3". He is probably I won't say the fastest, the second fastest man, the second fastest player on the team, perhaps behind Styles, the defensive back we picked up. But Bryce Lance, not only is he just a speed demon, but the guy can catch too. I thought that was one of the many, but one really particularly smart move getting Bryce Lance from, South Dakota. And they won a championship. When it last year that they won that championship? But the guy is a blazer, man, and he can catch too. He's special. But that's what I'm saying when you have guys like that and you put these guys out there to stretch the defense. Once the Saints start stretching defense and have those double safeties backing into coverage and they and then that cover look and them guys running and oh my goodness, you're not going to be able to defend the Saints like that, man. They're going to have too much going on in terms of speed. And then you're going to have Tyler Shuck deep ball and throwing this, throwing that. It's going to be exciting to watch. But yeah, Bryce Lance is also an interesting caveat to this whole thing. Thank you for putting that in there. All right, Pete. What's up, Pete? Says, you think they have plans for Ruiz to stick around? I don't know, bro. I think Ruiz has 2 years remaining on his contract. Cesar has 2 years, and Jeremiah Wright is here now. So usually when you see a play like that lined up, and Mickey Loomis said they're not going to play Jeremiah Wright at any other position but the right guard, I think that's pretty much setting Cesar Ruiz up for. In 2 years, he'll be 29 years of age. I think more than likely from that, the Saints probably going to move on from Cesar Ruiz after the 2 years is over with. They're going to move on from him. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of lightweight surprised that he lasted with the Saints this long, because it's just his technique is just not there. I mean, some game, like he's inconsistent. That's what I'm saying. Like he's just inconsistent. And I think after 2 years, and then that's one thing. The question of his play is one thing. They drafted his eventual replacement is here on the team right now. And then the fact of the matter is that currently, after they reworked Elvin Kamara, the biggest cap number hit this year is now Cesar Ruiz at 14.1 plus, right? 14.1 plus, and then in 27 it's the same amount. So you're looking at his final years in 27. So you got 2 years, 26, 27, and then he hits the voided stage, and then the Saints over him, and the cap hits like 14.1 on both those years. Then you look at the 28th year when he's operating on several voided years at over $4 million that you're going to owe Cesar Ruiz. So at some point, I think Jeremiah Wright represents a cheaper player with higher upside for the Saints. So I think in my estimation, I think he'll be gone, in at least the next couple of years. Covedia says Ruiz bet not get injured this year because I feel like if he does, Wright takes his spot, he might not get back. Remember, Will Sherman was doing good too. Remember, Will Sherman, don't forget Will Sherman played that right guard spot last year and did a hell of a job with it. Hakeem Richards was at the tackle. You seen Will Sherman operating at the right guard position and was actually, in my estimation, playing better than Cesar Ruiz. A lot of what we seen on the back end in the second half of the season when guys started getting banged up, because remember Cesar Ruiz got hurt too, is Will Sherman came in there and he was really stepping up and handling business. KT says Pete was a wasted pick because he was a pro alternate. He switched to guard because he was a trash tackle. That wasn't how it was, which is why they drafted Ramchick. No, because okay, hold on. If he was a trash tackle, then let me ask you this, KT. If Andrus Peat was a trash tackle, then why every time did Teron Armstead get hurt did they kick Peat to left tackle, which is the best position in terms of a quarterback, which is protecting your quarterback's blind side, the most important position that any offensive lineman can have outside of center, calling protections and working with the quarterback. The left tackle, if you got a right-handed quarterback, it's the left tackle position to protect the blind side of your quarterback. He faced off against, you would usually put the best pass rushers on the blind side so the quarterback don't see him. If he was that bad, then why did they kick him to left tackle when Teron Armstead get hurt? Why didn't use somebody else there? You see what I'm saying? The logic is not adding up, bro. I know you don't like Pete, bro. I understand. But I remember they kicked him every time Teron. It was a lot of times because Teron was getting hurt. If he was so bad, then why would they kick him to blindside tackle, the most important position outside the center on the field for your quarterback? Let me ask you that one. See, I know about this shit. I covered this. All right. You said I never. Oh, come on, brother. Come on. There you go. Underachieved, outperform. Man got 3 Pro Bowls, but he underachieved. What you want the man to do, bro? The man got 3 Pro Bowls, but he underachieved. Would he ain't get a 4th one? That's what I don't. Me and you definitely do not see underachieving in the same light. Obviously, meaning wise, if a guy is getting Pro Bowls. Maybe you can make the argument one time, but to get 3 of them and you call him an underachiever, what was he supposed to get 4? According to you, he was so bad he wasn't supposed to get none, but he got 3. You can't take it away, bro. Just Leo says Shuck pushing him too much, not Breeze while in practice when he overcame defense, but on Kellen Moore's to fix but QB decision making. All right, thank you, Just Leo. Shout out to Black Major. All right, shout out. What's up, Doc? Shout out to Doc54 as well. But yeah, KT, I understand, brother. You just don't like the man, bro. Kev says cornerback Emerson, secondary root beer float. A secondary root beer float. What does that mean, brother? I don't understand what that is. All right. But Emerson, to talk about Emerson, bro. He's another guy that we haven't heard too much about. Like I said, we haven't heard from a lot of guys right now. Insofar as them stepping out in camp, Emerson's one of the guys that the Saints picked up later on in the year, 6'2", 200 pounds out of Mississippi State. He was 3rd-round pick back in 2022. From Cleveland Browns had him. He had 62 tackles and 5 pass defense and a forced fumble last year. Actually in 2024. Saints bring him in as a cheaper veteran. I think he's been in the game 5 years. There you go. Cheaper veteran player to compete with guys like Isaac Yiadom. Isaac Yiadom, to me, is a guy that's making a lot of money to be a reserve defensive back for the Saints. And I think they could be looking at him to step up. And like I said, we haven't heard too much from Martin Emerson right now, but it's like I said, we just in day 4. It's still a lot of time left in this training camp and preseason. Hell, we ain't got to no games. They about to start putting on full gear for contact. That's happening coming up next week. So we really haven't got down to what it's really about. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying right now. We just got to just do the knowledge. Tim, thank you for the super chat. Said, let's go. Jeremiah, right? Take that spot.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Donations. 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 Gifts. 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 More gifts. More gifts.
All right. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for that as well. Much love, Tim. Leo says, Pete problem is, can I take on big time pass rush too slow? All right. KT says, Q, that's what played in college, and you did want to move Streif to left tackle. Kakaha, dog walked in college, plus a fact that, Kakaha in practice was a bad boy. I mean, in college, he was a bad boy. He led the nation in sacks that year when he came out with the Saints. Saints just didn't use him right. But Haloi Kakaha was the top sacker that year in college. He was balling. So he did that to a lot of people. But I get what you're saying, KT, about him and your thought process on him and where he was drafted, and you felt like he wasn't as good as he's supposed to do. I just see it differently. I see if a man play, now he did miss some games and he was banged up. I talked about the guy being soft, and I didn't agree about that because I remember games where Andres Pete had his whole right hand. He had a broken hand, or a broken thumb it was, and he had his whole damn hand bandaged and looked like a club, and he was out there trying to play. I remember when he had ankle issues, he had his ankles bandaged and he was still out there playing. So he played hurt. But like I said, you get what I see. Let me tell you how I look at it, and then y'all go from there. We talk about a player that's what you would call an underachieving player. An underachieving player to me is Nick Saldiveri, right? That underachieving player to me is Isaiah Foskey, the slow man. Those are underachieving players to me, right? An underachieving player is Jake Hayner, okay? An underachieving player, that's what kind of players that I look at as underachieving players. I don't look at a guy that played, 100-something odd games, whatever it was. He maybe missed, 30-something games, something like that. We had 3 Pro Bowls for one team, for the Saints, not for nobody else. 3 Pro Bowls with the Saints. I don't see that man as no underachiever, bro, because he achieved something that some players on the team did not do. Cesar Ruiz never had a Pro Bowl, and I'm saying he's underachieving right now. So like I said, I just don't see him as an underachiever as far as those guys are concerned. That's what I see. You get me? I just gave you 3 examples of what I perceive as underachieving players. So you can see it's a difference between the two, don't you? That's all I'm saying. All right, big ups. All right, Black Mage says, Q, do you got that show me button? I still got it on tap, Playboy. I still got it. All right, Leo says, Junior Gillette, where did he go? He was oh yeah, Junior Gillette went crazy. When the Saints gave him that money, Junior Gillette lost his mind. When the Saints made him a millionaire, he lost his marbles. That's the bottom line. Always got that show me on tap, baby. It's always on tap. And like I said, I keep that on tap, bro. I keep it ready to roll, man, whenever I need. I got quite a few of them that I got ready to roll, man. So even if Kellen Moore, and I don't want to hear him, start making excuses and talk about cleaning things up. But when he started talking about cleaning stuff up, I'm going to hit him with this.
Call me Santa friend, but I'm the cleanup man.
Clean up man.
Coma right off her feet and into the jazz.
I got it on tap. All right, but that boy look like Zion, don't he? All right, anyway, shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all for being in the live on this one, man. Let me do a brief recap on what we seen today at camp for the family members that's recently joining us. Is a quick breakdown, right quick, for something that quick notes by Jeff Nowak. Shout out to him. He covered it, and this is what it is. So indoor rain work, practice indoors. The offense gained some traction indoors once they did it after the rain. Red zone perfect. Shuck, Rattler, and Wilson were 12 for 12 in practice today. Bryce Lance had back-to-back touchdowns, and Tyler Shuck threw 2 touchdowns today. So we heard people say that he wasn't looking all that good. Well, today he really started to light it up. From the defensive side, Jonas Sanker had a goal line pass breakup on Jordan Tyson. That's what I said, these guys. And remember, Jonas playing a star role. And Julian Blackman had an interception today. For the Olavi watch, 2 targets to him. Quincy Riley broke up an end zone pass, a touchdown, potential touchdown, knocking away from Olavi. That's what they're saying. McKinstry and Riley really been playing well. You've seen Sanker had a pass breakup, and Julian Blackman had a pick. The Saints secondary is stepping up. They're making it very difficult for that offense. And then, of course, trenches and kickers. Vernon Brockton taking reps with the ones. Tanner Brown went 5 for 5 today. Remember, Tanner Brown is the UFL kicker competing against Charlie Smith, who's 10 for 10 in camp. Right now, Tanner Brown is 9 for 10 in camp. Charlie is 10 for 10 at camp. Day number 4. You know, of course, we talk about the camp 4 inside. The heavy rain moved them inside. It was closed. And then, of course, this is the final day in helmets and light shells before full pads. The Saints get into that next week. December the 5th, August the 5th, the Saints jump into full pads, and then we really start getting into, knocking and having some fun right now, doing some football. It's touch football basically right now, but it's about to go for broke. All right. Leo says Mickey Button need also, especially taking him so long with the Olavi contract. Yeah, it took him a long time. I think finally it's over with. It was well over a year. He dragged it along, but it's good. All right. He also said, do you believe we need to trade or sign a player? I don't see us needing to sign or trade any player. I think the big question is what happens with Brian Bresee. The Saints obviously are going to take the approach where they're not going to, right now, go out and see about grabbing any players. The Saints have a bunch of no pun intended, but a ton of defensive linemen. They got a ton of interior defensive linemen, no pun intended. But when you talking about Davon Godchaux, Nate Shepard, Christian Miller, Christian Boyd, John Ridgway is there. Vernon Brockton. So you have a bunch of interior defensive linemen they believe can absorb the loss of Brian Bresee. So I don't see much movement there. Kool-Aid McKinstry had an ankle issue. They called it not much. It was what's the term they use? Light, or it was nothing to be concerned about there. So if anything, there might be movement there. But outside of that, I don't think we need to trade anybody. Maybe, some more competition at the backup center position. Maybe we could sign or look at trying to get more competition there. That probably would be pretty much the only thing I got right there in terms of that. But thank you for asking. Jack says no clown music. Yes, right? I played a lot of clown music last year, man. In the 4 years prior, I did a lot of that too. All right. Yeah, Jack says he see him trading a wide receiver because they might have too many. I don't think who would you trade that you would want to trade? I mean, who would anybody want? Because the top 6 guys you're gonna keep, which is Olavi, Tyson, Vele, Lance, Polk, and Barry Brown. Anybody who's gonna want the rest of the guys? Is there a trade market for a Mason Tipton, a Ronnie Bell, a Trey Palmer, a Bub Means, a Kevin Austin Jr., or a Jalen Marino Cropper? I don't see much trade value there, so I don't know what you're going to do. And the Saints going to keep some on the practice squad as well, so I don't see any trade value with any of these wide receivers outside of the 6 I mentioned. I don't think Polk is going anywhere. The Saints are not going to trade for Polk and wait a year for him to get healthy and then trade him out. I don't think that would be. No, I didn't. KT, I ain't left him out. Vele, I said it. Olave, Tyson, Vele, Lance, Polk, and Barron Brown. That's 6. I believe the Saints keep 6 wide receivers this year. Chris Olave, Jordan Tyson, Divine Vele, Bryce Lance, Jalen Polk, and Barron Brown. I don't see a trade market for Mason Tipton, Ronnie Bell, Trey Palmer, Bub Means, Kevin Austin Jr., or Jalen Moreno Cropper. I could see a couple of those guys ended up on the Saints practice squad, but I don't see, outside of the 6 that I mentioned, I don't see much trade value there. Who's going to give you picks for that? Pete says, Q, I don't think we're going to have. I don't think we're going to play. Yeah, I don't think we're going to play hectic this year. That's right. Yeah, I don't know. You might at first. At first, we might play hectic. You know that dude in that skit, he has a Raiders hat on when he's saying that? I said, that guy got a Raiders hat on. And it been hectic with the Raiders. Let me keep it all the way funky with you. But yeah, we'll see how it go, man. But I'm enthused, man, about the Saints, man. I'm enthused about the black and gold this year. I think we're going to do good. I don't think they're iffy, Leo. I don't think the secondary is still iffy. I think the secondary in practice is showing you some stuff. I don't think we're deep. But we've heard Kool-Aid McKinstry and Quincy Riley been doing their thing. You heard on the sinker. Pass breaking up on the goal line. He's operating out of the star role. Now, when you get into it, and you heard about the young cornerback name, Price. You heard about Price. He's doing good. He's a guy that might do something, but you haven't heard too much about any of the other guys like Martin Emerson or Jordan Howden or Lorenzo Styles Jr., who just got here, Terrell Burgess, Rajon Wright, Yedem. You haven't heard too much by those guys yet, but guys like Jaden Price is looking good. So we haven't heard too much from the other cornerbacks just yet. But like I said, it's only day 4. I mean, we still got a ton of time left to get through this stuff, right? All right. Yeah, Lions and Ravens. First 2 weeks is hectic. Black Major says black gold the Super Bowl. KT said I like Sanker, but McKinstry is average cornerback. I don't see him as average, KT. I know KT's a wonderful scouter of talent, but I just don't see him as you say average, KT. I don't see him as average. Now, last year he did have bouts of playing average. That's why we changed his name. Anytime he doesn't play up to the level that we know he's capable of, it's no longer Kool-Aid McKinstry. It's Crystal Light. He becomes he becomes Crystal Light McKinstry. He's not Kool-Aid no more. It's no more when he playing bad and getting turned around and not following the ball and he becomes Crystal Light. Now we did see quite a few Crystal Light McKinstry appearances last year, but man, I believe in Kool-Aid. I think Kool-Aid's ready. This is his 3rd season, and I want to see him step up. I believe in Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think he's going to ball out, and that's a part of the process. Like last year, he was in the sophomore year. He had a lot to learn, but I still think Kool-Aid McKinstry is going to be that guy for you. I really do think so. And plus, I love the safeties. Like you have, listen, Julian Blackmon, if he can stay healthy, is going to be a baller for the Saints. Last year when he came in, he fit that system perfectly. He got hurt in the first week, and that's when Sanker stepped into that job. Saints read up with him again. Julian Blackmon, we'll see what he can do. But the guy is he's a wonderful player. Then you look at the fact that Justin Reed cut all his hair off and all this stuff. Now usually symbolizes, a remaking, a rebirth period. He cut all that hair off his head. And I told y'all this a while. I said, man, I really do think Justin Reed is going to have a great season for the Saints this year. So you got both Justin Reed and Julian Blackmon as safety support for your young cornerbacks. I think they're going to be okay. Of course, they still got to learn and go, but I'm feeling pretty good. And plus, remember, our edge rushers also got to help our secondary too by putting pressure on the quarterback, driving them out of the pocket, forcing them to throw early before the play develops. This is a part of it as well. So, we're going to see how it works. But during practice right now, the guys are actually doing a pretty good job. All right, Pammy, thank you for being a member for 40 years.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
All right, thank you, Pammy. Much love to you. Appreciate you. It's like I said, it would be good. KT says, Q, would you sign Teron Arnold if he beats out the Chargers? He's still on his rookie deal. I would not sign him. I will stay away from that. I would definitely stay away from that. I just, if he beats the Chargers is another thing because he's an innocent man, and that changes the direction, right? Because I ain't gonna say it was the same similar situation, but remember the Saints stood by Carl Granderson's side when those charges came from Wyoming when Carl Granderson went to jail and all of that. Saints did not release Carl Granderson. They believed in him. Then when he was cleared, he came to the team and the Saints and all this kind of stuff. So they believed in Carl Granderson and, believed he was innocent, and Carl paid him off. He came, prior to them giving him the extension because he really hadn't done anything sack-wise, with 6 sacks one year, 5.5 in another. When he's starting all those games, he needs to get that right. But they believed in him. If the man is innocent, why not? If he's innocent, but you don't need anything else but him being innocent. So we'll see. We'll see what it's like, bro. We'll see what it's about. All right, Pammy says, Q, I got a feeling we're going to get it done this season. It's going to be fun watching it, man. It's going to be fun watching it, this season and watching everything. We know the team is not perfect. I'm not saying they're going to walk right into the Super Bowl. I know we still have some work to do on harmony and synergy, quarterback, running back, getting on the same side of things. I still think we got some work to do right there. Our defense, we need to see what Caden could do with the defense there. Can everybody gel? Can our pass rush stay on par? Can we get better rushing the quarterback? Can we continue to stuff the run? Could we get turnover? Could we turn teams over? Could we get interceptions? And one of the biggest questions I have is really not so much in the offensive defense, because those are the regular questions I always get. It's about special teams. Can our special teams be dominant? And I mean not just making field goals and pinning people back, but can our returners do something? Our punt and return units, can they flip the field to help the offense out? Can we get help there? With the special teams coach. So we'll see all these questions, man. We'll see how it all works going together. KT says the crazy part about the whole situation, Q, folks firing charge allegedly robbed him and his friends. I know it was a whole mess going on, but like I said, he's a talented young player. But if he can clear the charges, why not, man? If the man's an innocent man, then, why not, man? Why not? And we're supposed to be the Saints. The Saints supposed to be believing in forgiveness anyway, right? That's what the Saints are about, right? About, that sort of thing. So we'll see how it all works, man, because that's an interesting question as well. All right, so anyway, with that being said, listen, I appreciate all y'all for chiming in on this episode. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on social media feed. Big Q representing the mighty Who Dat Nation. We up in this thing. Shout out to FanDuel, the official sponsor of the show. As you can see, these numbers right here, family, from the 26-27 NFC South winner. They got Tampa there at plus 200, followed by the Saints plus 240, Atlanta plus 310, and Carolina bringing up the rear plus 330. These numbers will change, but right now they got the Saints. These are the odds on the Saints winning the NFC South at FanDuel. So y'all could go to the sports book and check that out and and make some money. But look, nonetheless, I believe that those numbers will definitely change because I see more and more articles about the New Orleans Saints as stuff start working through. We get through preseason games, and the momentum continues to build because we at the onset of it getting and building chemistry. That's what camp is about, getting the chemistry down, getting the system, and then we'll have application in the preseason game, which ultimately will take us into the regular season. So we're getting very close. We're getting very close to where football matters. So with that being said, that's all I got for y'all. Listen, I'm going to holler at y'all on the next show, man. Appreciate y'all. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on social media feed. We end this thing. Peace.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with the WhoDatDaily.com, your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit the WhoDatDaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic, NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.